Stunt Granny Network. And like I said, I kind of sub in on Stunt Granny doing a wrestling thing like once a month. I used to be part of the East Coast cast as a fill-in. I got written out of history, so we won't talk about that.
Because you decided you too good for nicknames, and we had to make an executive decision.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought y'all treated me like Dr. Pulaski from the Next Generation. I just filled in because somebody was on maternity leave, and as soon as they came back, we went back to his home planet.
That's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Also, Gates McFadden is like my favorite name in all of anything. But yeah, so you guys are seeing the two of us live. We also have a couple of our buddies here on stream. Everybody say hi to my man Rich Fan from the Pro Wrestling Torch East Coast cast first, and now hosts his own show every Saturday evening, The Deep Dive. Are you watching this trick? You wanna again, Rich Fan from the Pro Wrestling Torch, The Deep Dive. Rich, say hi to everybody, man.
Hello, everybody. I am looking forward to doing this. Like Cam said, if you know Cam, you know about the East Coast cast. So I do the side where people got to pay for. So it's me and Travis yelling at each other at 2 a.m. and me trying to wake up tomorrow to do work. With the deep dive, I overthink things and I talk about topics in wrestling and try to keep it one subject each week. Last week, Shahid was on as the clutch backup co-host. I guess taking the role he was stolen away from him in like Tasha Yar in the tunnels.
Never your fault. Tasha Yar in the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
Nobody
quote.
talk about that except for my man Mike Freeman on Twitter.
Still
It's like Tasha Yar, man. She went through the life.
Yeah, she was alright. She had a great name. And a cool haircut too. She was like, I don't know, single white female before there was one.
See,
more or less.
There you go.
she had the hashtag the haircut.
So guys, I brought all my buddies together. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and a lot of it is finding the right time, finding a time everybody can get together because we're all old men at this point. Making sure we have all our ducks in a row. So what this is, it's the best of WWE 2017 show. All of us are avid watchers of WWE TV. The four of us are actually in a group chat together, so we're always talking about what's happening in front of us, whether it be a Raw, a SmackDown, an NXT, or a pay-per-view, or a special. So I thought we should all get together from our respective shows and kind of do one big end of the year thing where we talk about the very best things that happened in the year and probably some of the worst things that happened in the year as well. What I did was kind of twofold. And Steve, whenever you get back, let us know.
Back.
Oh, Steve is back?
I'm here.
Okay, so our fourth horseman, if you will, my man Steve Williams from PTBN. Steve, let everybody know what it is that you do over there on that side.
I have been recording a show with Will from Texas, who kayfabes his real name to the thousands of internet wrestling nerds out there. We have been doing a podcast tracking the Best WWE Wrestler Ever project, which wraps up this week over at Place to Be Nation. We have sometimes weekly, sometimes bi-weekly show called For Your Consideration, which has been a lot of fun. And I do look forward to future podcast projects on that network over at placetobenation.com.
All right, so guys, let's just kind of get going. How I set this up, I sent out a Google form to everybody I kind of work with, being me, Rich, and Travis. I sent one out to Shahid's side, Stunt Granny, and everybody who it was. It was Shahid, it was our man Chris Calamita, it was Kevin, and it was Jeremy, and they filled it out. Steve got one over at PTBN. My man Ryan from the Gully Blanchard podcast also got one. And so I gave them 10 different areas as far as the best in WWE for the year, and we filled that out. We also set up a week-long Twitter poll with the exact same questions, and I want to thank everybody who participated in that, in particular Wade Keller and Bruce Mitchell from PW Torch, who made sure we had a lot of visibility on these polls. And so, with all that said, because I'm selfish, we're going to take kind of our composite score as podcast hosts, and then we're going to take the Twitter polls, and we're going to decide kind of on a winner, kind of on a general consensus. And, if we as the majority who host this show decide one thing, to hell with that Twitter poll.
Like I said, the winner is whoever we decide to pick.
Exactly. So, let's just start at the top, man. Everybody, you got to remember, Cam was a journalism major at one point in college, so I make sure I had the paperwork in front of me. The first thing I want to talk about is WWE's surprise act of the year. All right, the 4 people that we put in the poll were Alexa Bliss, the team of Tyler Breeze and Breezango, Enzo Amore, and Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream. Now, before we get into those specific 4, guys, is there anybody you guys feel like we left off that should have been included on this list or almost made the cut?
Well, for me, the guy that we kind of argued about that I would have picked if that was one of the 4 was Aiden English, because he went from somebody that I thought was going to be fired once his partner was gone to being part of the hottest act on SmackDown, and it happened kind of like organically. It wasn't something that they forced down their throat. It just happened, and even before he got with Rusev, you can tell they kind of got behind him, gave him more time, and now him and Rusev just go. So that would be my pick if he's one of the picks.
All right, Steve. Anybody you think should have been included or almost made the cut?
No, the only 2 that really came to mind for me were the 2 guys who were on the ballot that got a lot of support, that being Breezango and Velveteen Dream. So, yeah, those are clear, far and away, the 2 guys for me.
How about you, Rich?
No, I agree. I'm with everybody else. If anything, Shahid's sell job for the Rusev Day, Jace Singer, I refuse to give him respect because Travis tries to love on him too much because he's married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter. You don't get Eddie Guerrero love because you're married to his daughter. I'm sorry. But no, I think the people there are great.
Rich, did you notice how on SmackDown, before he did a frog splash, he kissed his hand and pointed to the air?
Yeah, and slapped his chest 3 times.
Yeah, that was.
So that's what that's about.
That was, yeah.
I
dug it. Like, that was cool.
I was like, how dare you, sir? Like, you're just trying to get points with Shaw when you get home.
I mean, do what you got to do.
That's true.
All right, so
If you're not appropriating, you're not trying.
there you go. Spoken from our only white guest. Okay. So basically, the poll went like this. Enzo Amore got 9% of the vote. Breezango got 24% of the vote. Alexa Bliss, 25% of the vote. And your winner, with 42% of the vote, Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream. Steve, whether or not, and I have to check on it to see if that's who you voted for. Steve, you actually voted for Breezango, and you expressed that earlier. Why do you think Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream, ended up getting the nod?
Those 2 were my 2 picks. They were both neck and neck. Looking at him on Tough Enough, which was my only exposure to him, I mean, he didn't grab me at all. The show was so shitty that I stopped watching after 3 episodes. So maybe he turned into something great on that show.
I just want to call a pause on him grabbing you, but keep going.
He is the Velveteen Dream. That is an appropriate pause. But he spent God knows how long not even on TV, and then when he comes up, he's this fully formed character and gets right into this thing with Aleister Black, who is just the perfect person for him to play off of. This Dutch tough guy kickboxer squared off with the most effeminate, not quite gay, but going as close to gay as you can get these days without crossing that line. And holding his own and doing the whole respect thing with, say my name and all that shit. And plus, the polls came out not long after that match with those 2, which was just a show-stealing match we'll talk about later. I won't fault anybody who voted for Velveteen Dream in this poll.
And Rich, how about you? Why do you think Velveteen ended up getting the nod there?
I think I'm on the opposite spectrum of the same thing Steve said. So I watched Tough Enough. It was ironic because at the time he got saved, that was a week before the Hogan stuff came out, and then air date wise, the day of, or the couple of days of the episode where Hogan finally got fired, he had saved comes to the Velveteen Dream, I figured he was going to be long for the WWE when his first character on the circuit in Florida was Make America Great Again, loving Donald Trump impersonator with blonde hair and all that other crap. So I figured if they saw if he could do that, he'll do anything. And bless me, he's made Velveteen Dream work. Any man that can rock a turtleneck with the arms torn off and sequence and still go in the ring is someone I will support.
Brian Austin, if you can, because I see you're on stream, let me know how the video quality is. On my end, it looks like it's really dark because Facebook is doing what it's doing. But if it's okay, let me know. If it's dark and I can fix it, let me know, and we'll get to that. Shahid, next to me, Velveteen Dream. What got him the nod?
I think because what got him the nod was recency bias. We started to vote right when TakeOver was there. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they say they watch NXT. What they really mean is I watch TakeOver. So that was the first time they've seen Velveteen Dream like in a serious competition. Mm-hmm. So you see him hang with Aleister Black. You see the crowd get behind him, and you see him thriving with a character that could have easily got dropped in the toilet. Because, like I said, WWE hasn't done a good job with handling those type of characters before in the past. And normally when they do those characters, everyone else kind of reacts to them like gay panic. I don't know how to handle this guy. I'm creeped out. They never played it with this. They just had him play straightforward. It was kind of like, it's mind games, but not I'm afraid of him. And like Steve brought up, you got a Dutch Satanist that's stoic, and you got this. It's funny people talk about how he dresses. Like, I lived in DC for 7 years. There's plenty of people that dress like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a joke. So it was easy for him to get that kind of outfit. So you see this guy, you see this awesome character he's playing that's fully formed. You see him thriving in this character. You see him that he can actually wrestle. Like, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
And he can hang. And it's kind of like, you see that, it's easy. It'd be easy vote. I wasn't surprised for him because I watched NXT. So it's like, once I saw him week in and week out when they had time, like, I knew he was good. So I wasn't surprised by him being good. I was more surprised that he was that good ring-wise. But that was more because they didn't give him time to, like, show off his skills.
Biggest thing to me, I mean, it being 2017, like, we all agree, like, Dustin Runnels is a good to great worker, like, as far as wrestling. Like, he knows his stuff. To me, the biggest thing that held him back, he looks like his daddy and does what he can to fight that off. Like, if you give Dustin Runnels Cody Rhodes' physique, I think he's further along as far as we look at him in history. But we all agree he's really good. 2017, the world's more accepting of people who don't all look the same. Patrick Clark's physique is different. And so it's more endearing when he's wearing the turtlenecks with no stomach and no sleeves and in the tights, like it's like visually it's just different. Super athletic, second best elbow drop in NXT because Kyrie's saying, like, let's be real. And he owns it. And that's the biggest thing. Like, he's all in on the character, but it's not to a point where there's very little sexual about it, if that makes sense. It's all personality. And then he has this great thing with Aleister Black. It's the sneakiest feud I've ever seen. Because the way it culminated and the way everything they did played into the match, it's just not something WWE does. And whoever we have to give credit to for that, we should. But yeah, I think we also, like you said, we're prisoners of the moment. Travis and I were fresh out of streaming at Comic-Con, watching the match at a fried chicken joint. And we're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Standing outside in the cold, watching it, fascinated. So, like, yeah, it just caught on at the right time. I think we did kind of get caught up in the moment. Again, 42% of our Twitter poll, out of 469 votes, voted the Velveteen Dream. Out of our actual poll, I think 5 were for Velveteen Dream, 4 for Breezango. I voted for Breezango. The biggest reason was the longevity of what they were doing, the Twitter reaction, and really that match that they had at the pay-per-view where Tyler Breeze has the broom and switches outfits mid-match. Like, just that guy being successful in things that he's doing, like, I'm a fan of that. Breezango kind of coming back from where he was stunted, like, it's all just really cool to me. So that's why I voted that way. But guys, Rich, Steve, as a consensus, can we agree that Patrick Clark was the rightful winner here?
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that.
All right. Shaheed, good on that?
I mean, I guess.
Steve,
I mean, to be honest, it's more where I voted for Breezango as well because they came from a lot farther, and it was more surprising when they did it because it's kind of like it got to the point where they didn't have to wrestle and they got over on SmackDown. SmackDown's a wrestle heavy show, and they got even jaded fans over like that match they had with the Usos should have been ridiculous.
Yeah,
they out there like Tyler Breeze is out there like a Scooby Doo character, and normally if he'd have played that wrong, he'd have got booed out the damn building. Yeah. The fact that he played it right, the crowd got behind him, and they were getting near falls against the Usos when the Usos was like super hot heels. This shows how well they played the character, and not only did they revitalize themselves, they made the Ascension mean something. Yeah. So that's why I voted for them. But I mean, I couldn't go wrong with anybody building Velveteen Dream. Alexa Bliss getting the vote she got is kind of. I think if this was 2016, I could see her high on the list as like. 2016 showed that she's good. 2017 just reinforced it. So why people still surprised? And
we'll talk about Alexa Bliss a little bit later here in the show. Let's go ahead and jump to to our second topic, the most wasted asset. Now, guys, you're looking at the 4 people we chose in front of you. Anybody who should be on this list that is not. Steve, let me go to you first.
No, when we were putting this together in the group chat, we had a little bit of a hard time coming up with 4 names. So yeah, I'm good with this list.
Okay. Rich, anybody?
You know, I can't really think of anyone like Steve said. From the group chat on, I think I was dead set on the 4.
Okay. And Shaheed.
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper. Okay.
That's the only one.
That's fair.
Yeah. But that's like I said before, you know, I couldn't think. Like Luke Harper is a good name, but I couldn't think of who I was move out to put him in. So the 4 that we picked were a good 4.
Okay. We had 443 votes on this poll. 11% said Samoa Joe. 16% said Bayley. 29% Shinsuke Nakamura. And the winner with 44% was Finn Balor. Shaheed, let me go to you first. Do you think the right person was selected, and if so or if not, why?
It wasn't my vote, but I think the right person was selected just because of what Finn Balor was, what he should be, and what he is now. It's like he was, you know, he came from NXT, they pushed him to the moon, he got hurt. And I think the biggest thing that happened was he was a victim of circumstance. When he came back, Braun Strowman was a thing. Okay. So it went from you could see him hanging with Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens is the champ, and like Seth Rollins is the champ, and even Roman Reigns that limit to how big you are, and you be that champion. So now he comes back, and you have, even though he hung with Samoa Joe in NXT, you got Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, you got a lot of big guys, and I know Finn Balor looks cool in the leather jacket, but him at 190 pounds hanging in the main event is something that's like you have to educate your crowd to believe that. And they didn't do a good job of doing that because they were just wasting. He got caught in the Bray Wyatt trap like everyone else. He just wasted time with Bray Wyatt to the point where, you know, now Kane is going to be in a Royal Rumble match instead of Finn Balor with Brock Lesnar. I don't know anybody wants to see Kane in 20 whenever, much less 2018. Like Finn Balor's supposed to be the future, and now it's kind of like, let's have him beat up the son of Mr. Perfect because we don't know what to do with him.
Yeah. That's about it. Let's see. To me, it was Bayley. Like it just was Bayley. And what I mean by that is this was the opportunity they had to make the most money off of any woman ever. Ever. Like I just think based on who she was presented as, what we saw in NXT, and what they can do with merchandising that finally isn't based on sex, they had a chance to make a lot of money. And I'm a little spoiled. What I mean by that is this. We got to do the live stream of Bayley's Q&A at Comic-Con. And she's just so confident and so aware of who she is, and you realize that like it's a character, like she's embracing because she's really a grown woman, confident in her abilities. Like that's where the money was. Now, is there more money based on how these things work to be made off of Finn Balor? Absolutely. But this was your chance to really get dollars and cents off of a woman performer. And it was just like, no, we don't get what she is. And what's ridiculous about it to me, you get what John Cena is. How do you not get what Bayley is?
Because it's the woman version. And like
she's a brunette.
And like you said, and to jump in, like you said before, the biggest issue with Bayley, and it's an issue with almost all of the women there, they're getting pushed incorrectly.
Yeah.
And they run into a lot of them where Charlotte and Sasha Banks are heels being pushed as faces. And one of the reasons why Alexa Bliss thrives is she's a heel being pushed as a heel. Like Bayley, they see her as like, okay, we can't sex her up, we can't tar her up. It should be easy. She's a woman that kids like and grown-ups like. They want to root for her. Let her be that plucky underdog that can wrestle and win instead of like, she a dork. It's almost, and I would think they would have grown out of that, but it's still that whole stigma like, we want people that like wrestling but not really be fans. Like if she grew up as a gymnast and decided to be a wrestler, they probably would like treat her better than like, I want to be a wrestler. Like, why? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You will be wrestling, you grow up. Which is insane thinking about it. You would want somebody to have passion, but they, like you said, they could have made a lot of money with Bayley, and now they're treating her like we need somebody to take a loss. Let's bring her in.
Rich, is Finn Balor the proper vote for this?
I think so. I think one of the biggest issues I had when I looked at the results is I'm disappointed in the voters not realizing, if I can use the black dude putting a finger to his head, you can't be wasted if you intentionally want to be. In the case of Shinsuke Nakamura, like that was his MO in Japan. He only came out for the big matches. He was a little bit more 2D than some of the guys who were his contemporaries toward the end, and injuries had kind of put him in a position where he was more than happy to play out the string and give you excellence when excellence was needed. In the WWE, he doesn't need to be excellent. He understands. Like, I think it's an insult to say he's wasted when he realized signing that contract, Vince McMahon's paying him money to make him an Asian caricature while he gets to not ski, while he gets to surf and hang out with his family in America.
Yeah.
And hang out with his friends.
Doing a lot of sightseeing. Yeah. I think it was Bayley. Finn Balor, I completely understand. Like, when I get into my video game mode, he's the guy who's my main roster champion, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, because he's just so cool. Like, I got to watch him in NXT put on these great matches. Chill out. I got to watch him in NXT put on great matches. Like, I see how the crowd reacts to what he does. Like, one thing I noticed, they purposely don't cut his entrance when he comes out. A lot of guys, they might end up just in the ring, or you see him coming out and then they'll cut the commercial. They know what they have, but they're like, nah, go wrestle Bo Dallas, big dog.
I think it's the fact they know what they have, so they use him like that. Like, I know I got this Benz, so let me try this different thing. And like, yes, Finn Balor's cool, even though when he comes out with his leather jacket and tights, he looks like a damn pervert. Like,
come on.
I mean, Alex Wright. I'm sorry. I remember Alex Wright coming out to that same gear, and like, it did not look right.
Gotta hit that dance,
Finn
dog.
Balor weighs 10
God's
pounds.
Wunderkind is not here for slander today.
And like, to bring up Rich's point about Nakamura, he's right to a thing. The only reason I feel like he got wasted is because he got sacrificed to the altar of Jinder Mahal.
And I will say, I have seen Shinsuke Nakamura put on better matches with lesser opponents than Jinder Mahal. Jinder can catch some slander for that, but Shinsuke pulled out decent matches out of fucking Bad Luck Fale. He could have had a better match than that with Nakamura at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I
don't think it's like even the match part. It's the fact that he lost. Because I think everyone was under the assumption like, this is.
We thought that was the time.
Yeah, like
we
it's
all thought that
Nakamura,
was the time.
Shine. He should buzz cut him in 6 minutes. And I think I was watching something else when the match started. Like, he's gonna win this, because we were talking about it on the Facebook chat. So when I went there and everybody was saying, "What the fuck is going on? Or what's this?" I'm like, wait, Shinsuke lost? And not to start laughing, like, this is just insane. Had that not happened, I don't even think he'd be on this list. Like, he'd just be a guy. Like, I think people make the mistake of thinking, oh, it's Shinsuke Nakamura, he's from Japan, so he should have matches where he's dropping people on their neck. Like, that's not how he wrestles. People take that stereotype of thinking, he's from here, he should be putting on these type of matches I'm used to seeing on this app. Why isn't he doing this? It's Vince McMahon's fault.
So here's what's crazy. So Finn Balor won strong in that poll with 44% of the vote. In our vote, Finn Balor got 2 votes, Shinsuke Nakamura got 2 votes, and Bayley got 5 votes. So based on that, do we have to say that Shinsuke is the most wasted asset? Rich, Steve, feel free to chime in.
I think Bayley is easily the most wasted asset. Going back to some of your points, she is a license to print money in the preteen girl demographic.
Yeah.
My daughter now is 12 years old. When she was 9, 10 years old, she barely watched wrestling just because I watched it, but she loved the Bayley character. They bring this girl up to the main roster, and she does all right for a little while, but then instead of, they were building 2 things concurrently, the Bayley chase for the title and Charlotte being undefeated on pay-per-view.
Yep.
And instead of converging those 2 and having Bayley pin her on pay-per-view, Bayley wins in kind of an anticlimactic Raw match.
Yeah.
And then has a little 4-way at Mania, which was okay, and then lost on pay-per-view in her hometown of San Jose the month after Mania. Just complete fucking burial.
And looking like an idiot, too. Like, it was bad.
And then Bayley, remember when SmackDown was still on whatever the hell UPN turned into?
Open.
And the big story at the time was that Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio were just driving these ratings for the Latino market. This is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but Bayley is the key to that young girl market, a market that just seemed impossible for professional wrestling for the 25 years that I've watched. All of a sudden, these little girls had a character they could latch onto, and they fucked it.
No way around it.
Maybe it's not as much money as, say, a Finn Balor breaks out, but it is another revenue they could have had, another revenue source they could have had that they have just completely shit the bed with.
I think it's even more money because it's kind of like little girls fuel their daddy's pockets.
And you will spend more, and Steve, you can attest to it. Like, you're kind of at the mercy of your daughter when she wants stuff. Like, because, disappointing grown women is kind of easy. We do that all the time. But, like, girls, it's different. They hold grip. Don't look at me like that. They hold grip. You guys,
make sure that she doesn't.
You guys, real quick, Steve, y'all can't see the screen.
Somebody else.
Y'all can't.
Because I fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't see the stream. She turned and looked at me so crazy just now. It happens.
That's what he does.
Well, yeah. I mean, I disappoint grown women more often than most, but it's fine.
To bring up a point, Rich would definitely think, the biggest issue with Bayley, and Rich will definitely appreciate this, Vince has an Ike Perlmutter mindset when it comes to this, where we don't mind dolls when it comes to boys. Come to girls, they got cooties. I don't know how to market the girls unless they got C cups out. It's no mistake that the Bellas have 12 many Twitter followers and Instagram followers they have because they're on E. They get pushed. They get pushed as these powerful sex symbols, but they're sex symbols. Most of the divas are either these power women or sex symbol women. Barely they do neither with. So it's we don't know how to push this. How do I push this girl? Just push her. They have too many people in power that do not know how to market to young girls and young teenage women. They treat them like they got cooties, so they treat Bayley like a chump.
Guys, let me ask you, before we move on to the next point, is there more money in Bayley if you call her Bayley Martinez?
Not necessarily. No. But that's the same thing when you deal with Seth Rollins. If he's Kobe Lopez or Seth Lopez, does that help? I think with Bayley, it would help more if Vince got out of this locked-in view of women you're a blonde and you have fake breasts, you're over. But if you're a brunette, if you're not sexy, you can't be in my line of sight. Like, look at what happens with Renee Young versus like a Charlie Caruso. Like, Renee gets like full roles, like she's everywhere. Charlie Caruso kind of gets pushed to the side, and I think part of it's because Vince has never looked at her Instagram page and was like, oh wow, she can wear clothes that aren't professional.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like looking back, right to Shahid's point, the first time I saw something was going wrong with the NXT versus WWE dichotomy is when they decided in their infinite wisdom to do a Women of the NXT like cheesecake thing like they used to do with WWE magazine back in the day. And you could see how uncomfortable Bayley was in a two-piece bikini, like just taking the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this?
It's not her mode. Yeah.
And it was funny because with the WWE network, they even had the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it confirmed what I thought just looking at the pictures. Because she was like, I had to talk to the other girls. Like, how do I wear heels? How do I put this on? What am I doing? And I'm like, just let the girl wear like shorts and a tank. Like, if that's what she wants to do, that's sexy for her. You don't have to turn it into this like grotto of young women for yourself. Like, if Charlotte wants to do it, cool. If Sasha wants to do it, cool. But if Bayley doesn't want to do it, if back in the day, Luna Vachon doesn't want to be the one that's in like the girl with the drag tag gear, let the woman be herself, and people will find that there's going to be a girl that's empowered, and if you still want to be a scumbag, there'll be a guy that wants to see it.
Yeah, and to bring up your point about Bayley, if they push her Latin roots, I think it's in WWE with women that can kind of pigeonhole, because you notice how they push Rosa Mendez, and then look how they pushed Eve Torres. When Eve first came out, she had the Latin music and everything like that, and then one day she had regular music, and they pushed her like a regular diva, and she took that step up. Like, when it comes to, you want to be ethnic, you won't be too ethnic, because then you'll always be the ethnic guy. You'll be, because it'd be like, oh, why don't she come out the mariachi music? She gonna start doing a frog splash. She gonna start shaking like this and everything like that, because that's what Vince thinks every Latin person should act. And do you really want to see hot-blooded Bayley Martinez out there?
It's a good point.
Bayley La Bamba.
Wow. Okay.
And
Great.
Real quick, I think Zelina Vega is in that sweet spot right now. Yes.
Because
she gets to show some of that ethnicity, some of those roots, but it's not beating you over the head with it. She's got a world of potential. Yeah, if you say Dominican to Vince, he's gonna be like, what does that mean?
Guys, women also listen to this show, so we're not going to talk about Zelina Vega's sweet spot. On to the next point. So we asked everybody who the most overrated wrestler was, and this one is going to require some explanation, because this was like the thing on Twitter where, and I explained this yesterday on the East Coast cast, like, I'm not Wade Keller, and I'm not Dave Meltzer. I'm not, like, I'm a guy who likes wrestling, but I'm not the guy who you can just, like, kind of say something real off the wall to, and me just say something sarcastic and keep going. Like, I want to explain to you where I'm coming from to make sure I don't have to punch you in the face. Like, that's me. I don't get paid for this. Like, I don't really want smoke, but I do want smoke.
He wants smoke.
I want smoke. So, and it was actually
plot development camp.
Yeah, exactly. So like it was cool. Like nobody talked too crazy, but it almost got there. Let's just jump into it. The 4 that we chose for most overrated wrestler, and there are different reasons for these. Shinsuke Nakamura got 14% of the vote. Brock Lesnar got 23% of the vote. Dean Ambrose got 30% of the vote. And Roman Reigns, the winner in this category, got 33% of the vote. There were 486 votes. So roughly a third of 500 would be what? 170? 175? Give or take?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, most people feel like he's the most overrated wrestler. No, guys, when we talked about this was kind of a thing where I knew this name had to be on the list. Kind of the reason I put him on there specifically was he's pushed as the top guy. And so it's assumed, at least by people in charge, that people are there to see him. The other guys I included, like Nakamura, that's more based on hype and expectation. Brock Lesnar is really based on the eyes that he brings in versus performance. And then Dean Ambrose, which I explained yesterday on the East Coast cast, was more, how do you evaluate Cal Ripken? Is Cal Ripken that good at baseball? Or is Cal Ripken always available to play and pretty good at baseball? And this is from a guy from Southern Maryland, so I saw a lot of Cal Ripken. So everybody kind of had a different reason on there. First off, Steve, let me ask you, is there anybody who should be on this list? And number two, do you have any problem with my interpretation?
No problem with your interpretation of that. I can't think of anybody else who I would put on the list. I thought that I know Ambrose is a popular pick for that category, but I thought Nakamura was easily far and away for me the most overrated.
And here's the funny thing, and we'll get to it, but Ambrose and Nakamura had every vote except one on the list. I'm the one person that voted Brock Lesnar. Not because I don't think Brock Lesnar is good, because I think he's really good, but I really think Brock Lesnar gave us 3 good matches. Well, no, I can't say that, because his Goldberg match was good. That might be the third one. I might be right. He really gave us maybe 3 or 4 good matches in 12 months, personally, even though I'm a big fan of the guy. He had like 5? Okay. He had 5 good matches in 12 months. But no, like, I like the guy. That's not me saying I don't think he's good. It's just me. It's the Kevin Garnett thing. Like, I know you're good, but are people saying you're better than you are? But anyway.
All right, but looking at that Cal Ripken analogy you said, how many matches has Brock Lesnar had on television this year? 3 to 5 out of 6 to 7. That's a pretty damn good percentage.
Yep. Yeah. No doubt. Rich, same question for you. Any problem with how I evaluated the category, and do you think anybody was left off of this?
I don't think I have a problem with the way you evaluated it, and I think after talking to Travis, especially last night, my vote is it's a little unfair because based on the way you evaluate it, I don't think it's fair for me to say Dean Ambrose is overrated.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is we were talking last night about the idea of the number of matches and comparing them. I went nuts. I kind of did a little mini deep dive into that, which I might do into a show. Dean Ambrose is in the top 10 for all-time wrestlers who have wrestled in the WWE in terms of matches on the main roster. And that's in 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
Yeah, he wrestles like every
I had to stop. Like, wait, what? He's number 6 all-time in matches?
Yeah.
He always works.
Golly.
Until he got
Like,
hurt.
I'm
And
like...
number 2 is Jimmy Uso.
Yeah. Because he did, because when his brother got hurt, he still hung around and did some stuff. Wow. Number 2?
Well, no, number 2 as far as amongst
Oh,
the
okay.
guys who are left.
Okay.
Not like number 2 all time. Number 1's Undertaker. He's got like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like while we're talking, I'll bring it up, and that could be something we talk about later. But yeah, Undertaker has like I think almost 1,600 matches. Some other guys, but really, Dean Ambrose has more matches. I can put it this way: he has more matches in the WWE than Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I want to say who else? Big Show. It's insane.
Wow. And Triple H was an institution from 95 to 2012?
More or less.
Right.
Jesus. Okay. And that's my other thing. Like, I also included, Dean Ambrose has had a lot of matches. How many of those matches are something people write home about? Because I think Dean Ambrose was strong as the first kind of SmackDown champion, doing stuff with AJ and Cena. Like, I thought that stuff was really good. But, again, is being there enough? And I really do. It's weird. I said Brock Lesnar was most overrated, but I do really hold in high regard Lesnar Ambrose from WrestleMania Dallas, where Brock Lesnar was like, nah, I'm not going with none of that because I don't feel like you deserve that. It's like take how Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman feel about competition as how I evaluate talent. You know, Shahid stopped me from talking crazy about people I don't know.
Okay, I've been waiting for this.
And while you do that, I'm going to check these Instagram comments because there were a lot of them.
So, when we were talking about doing this show, one of the things I asked is, can I get some time to vent about this particular topic? Because the fact that Roman Reigns was even a choice is asinine. Internet fans need to get out their mind.
Wait, do it. Ass a 9, ass a 10, ass a 11,
from
ass a 12.
ass affinity. From ass a 9 to infinity. Internet fans need to get out their head that Roman Reigns is like, separate how you feel about him as a human being and his spot from what he does in the ring. Like, I know you'll never be Roman Reigns in real life. You'll never look like him. You'll never be as sexy as him. You won't have that spot. You think one day, well, you know, Kevin Owens is fat like me, so I can relate to him, even though Kevin Owens is an athlete and most of you guys aren't. So it's like we relate to people we think we could be in real life. People that are above and beyond, we kind of give them the side eye and feel like it's undeserved of a push. And week in and week out, Roman Reigns have had good matches with a multitude of people. Like, he's had those matches. You know, you can be mad that he gets 20 minutes with Jason Jordan, but if he has a good match with Jason Jordan, you can't say, oh, that match sucks because I don't like Roman Reigns. Like, that's arguments keep being made about Roman Reigns. It could have applied a couple years ago, but like this year, he hasn't really been in the main event half the year.
He's shooting at you, Willis.
He's been in the mid card, the upper
shooting
mid.
at you, Willis.
I hope Willis why he's been in the mid card and upper mid card. He's been having 15 to 20 minute good matches. Crowds are even starting to cheer for him again. Like,
1 second, Chuck. I know you got my email about that business, dog. I see you on stream. Answer that email and get your money. Keep going.
Yeah, so I was mad when Roman Reigns was there as a choice. I was even more mad when he won because it's kind of like people are letting their preconceived notions and their personal feelings get in the way of how they were voting. It's like, yeah, Roman Reigns is overrated because I don't like Roman Reigns. I miss Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. They should be there. Fuck Roman Reigns. I voted for Dean Ambrose, and here's the reason why. I love Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is like, I ain't got the same leather jacket Dean Ambrose got. He doesn't wear
it
that
actually
jacket anymore.
is over there on the chair
jacket.
behind the stream. I see the jacket.
Like, he doesn't wear that type of jacket anymore, but he used to wear that jacket. And I bought it before Dean Ambrose wore it, but I always liked he wore it. Dean Ambrose on SmackDown was awesome. He was like this Looney Tune champion with an edge. He could hang in the ring. Dean Ambrose on Raw has been coasting. Like, you know, I got into it just saying, oh, look at all the good matches Dean Ambrose was. I'm like, yeah, with Seth Rollins. He was in a lot of good matches when there was other people involved. Like, how many good single matches Dean Ambrose you can remember offhand? I can remember one he had with either Sheamus or Cesaro, and that's it. He been coasting. He been coasting out there like, I hang with the Shield, I can cut promos, I'm married to Renee Young, I'm cool, that's enough. And it's like, nah, that ain't enough. Like, you can do better. And like you say, availability is a skill, and being around is a skill.
Is health a skill?
Health is not a skill.
She's a doctor. He will not let me say that health is a skill.
Yeah,
some people,
because I don't know how you can prevent your bones from not breaking if you're doing stuff where your bones may break.
Really quick sidebar. One of my favorite viewers of our streams, one of my favorite listeners, the one who specifically told me I should never do a stream with sleeves is watching us on IG. Hi, Debbie.
Oh, so that's why.
Hi. Okay, keep going.
Here's a hoe.
And
Wow,
I look at
wow.
And when I thought about the point Cam made about Kyle Ripken, I always think about Jason Witten and John Stockton. Because people always bring them up as these all-time greats. And I'm like, because they were available. And if you're available long enough, you're going to luck in the numbers. John Stockton played for 20 years. He was probably all NBA first team twice. It was no time when he played when people were like, you know what? John Stockton's the best point guard in the NBA. Not once.
Can we date this show really quick? Last night, Rondo went 2-25 and 7.
Yes, because he's selfish ahead.
2 points, 25 assists, and 7 rebounds. The most Rondo game ever. But okay, again, this is the last time I'll cut you off.
He's a stat whore, and I hate him. And the same thing with Jason Witten. It's kind of like, you know, Jason Witten will come, he'll be top 5 in catches. I never thought Jason Witten was the best tight end. Like
he's literally never been the best tight
end in
football.
If Jason played in like Jacksonville his whole career, nobody would remember him.
He'd be slow Mercedes Lewis.
He'd be like, he'd be Frank Gore, because Frank Gore is like 6th in rushing, and a lot of people like, wow, Frank Gore's like that life. Yeah, Frank Gore played anonymity for like 12 years. So
if I had my glasses, I'd read that. I'm just gonna say Lion Life for my man Eric here on stream. I hope he's saying something nice, because if it's rude, I'll feel it.
And that's how Dean Ambrose is. Like, Dean Ambrose, and it's a shame we talking about his availability when the fact that he just got injured. He's going to be out, they said, 9 months. Hopefully it's not as long as that.
And that's, can I say he's overrated? And is he who I chose? No, he's not. But salute to him. Because, like 9 months, I feel like that's almost light, because I can imagine the wear and tear on his body. Gosh, like, you did your job, even though I put you on this poll. Like, I salute you for being able to do what you do, because I ain't showing up at work that many days a year. I got vacation days.
I felt bad voting for Dean Ambrose because I'm such a fan of Dean Ambrose, but I didn't vote for Brock Lesnar because, like, yeah, he might have had, like, out of the top matches we had, he was in a bunch of them. Like, he only had 5 matches, and 3 of them were awesome matches. So, yeah. I wish I had success rate.
Like, he had 2 of, and we'll get to it at the end, he had half of the matches on our poll as far as matches of the year goes.
And to wrap it up, it's somebody who I would have picked, and I know it's going to irk Rich that was on the list.
Get ready, Rich.
I'm ready.
And it's Mr. Rolling Stone, Wrestler of the Year himself, The Miz. Because The Miz on the mic was awesome. And I give
Here's what we have to do. We have to save that. We have to save that until the end. We have to stop.
Yeah.
Stop. We have to save that until the end. We have to wait, because he definitely deserves at least attention. So we have to wait till the end.
I would say, for me, if he'd have been on the list for voting for Overrated, I'd have picked him. Because I don't. Yes, because I don't. And I use my rationale for voting. It's not just, I take both sides. And if it was just ring skill, it'd be one thing. If it was just mic skill, it'd be something else. I combine the both. Like, mic skill, and it's not just him, and we'll talk about other people. I think a lot of times people tend to be funny when they say, they get mad at WWE when they say they only push people based on personality and because they can talk well and everything like that, and they ignore the ring stuff. But then a lot of people in these choices got picked, and it seemed like they ignored the ring stuff. I think people, if you like a person, then it's important to you, and if you don't like a person, then it's not important to you. And that's how I feel. Like, for me, that's why I feel the way I feel about The Miz. But like you said, we'll save that for later.
Really quick, my favorite point guards of all time are Jason Kidd, number 1, probably Russell Westbrook, number 2. Number 3 is Eric Nuncio, who I went to high school with. And he's saying on stream, John Stockton would get worked in today's NBA.
He got worked back
Salute
then.
Salute E.
He got
Again,
work.
the top.
He got work
like,
back then.
Yeah.
He had to cheat and grab shorts to hang. Like, this whole thing, he beat people fundamental. Like, he played down, he beat T.J. McConnell.
Somebody.
Guys, hold the fuck up.
He beat T.J. McConnell with a jumper.
Oh,
yes,
God.
I'm actually obligated to defend John Stockton as a Caucasian whose voice is being recorded in the year of our Lord 2017.
Okay.
John Stockton could assist and pass like a motherfucker. He wore little shorts and was a teammate of Karl Malone, and that's all I fucking remember of him, and that he was on the Dream Team and didn't get recognized when they went to Spain. But continue with your slander.
This isn't alt point, okay? We're not having that
John
shit.
Stockton thrived in an era when, like, you had white point guards could hang. Like, Mark Price was.
That's the only one I was ever going to say.
Was an all-star.
Where is Scott Skiles?
Like,
right
Scott
now?
Skiles is the all-time leading assist in the game.
Where is Mike Dunleavy?
And also, you got to keep in mind, most players, not just point guard, most players, by the time they were 31, 32, they were done.
Yeah.
They're, like, washed up. Like, a lot of them was out the league by 33, 34. You put him down in front of, like, you put him down in front of the average point guard, not even, like, Russell Westbrook, because that'd be like a damn war crime. Like Drew Holiday.
Would give him work. Jared Bayless would give him work.
Now, let's not go too far.
Okay. Jared Bayless on 2K14 would give him work. Okay. Shout out to your brother, Kevin DeFranco, here on the stream. We see you, Kevin, my man. Okay. Guys, we're already at 50 minutes. Let's keep going. We talked a bit earlier about how Pat Clark may have stolen Surprise Act of the Year because we're prisoners of the moment. Let's talk about most underrated wrestler. We had 438 votes. 11% Jason Jordan. 13% Mickey James. 27% Elias Sampson. The winner, 49%. So 438 votes. What? That's about 215 votes. Chad Gable. If you played WWE 2K17, Chad Gable might have the best move set in the game. Chad Gable just did super athletic shit. Suplexed everybody. Hit that Emerald Fusion. Overhead butterfly into an armbar. Chad Gable was amazing. And right now, they have Chad Gable, who might be my height, suplexing everybody out of their boots. I think the breakout performance for Gable was that first singles match with Rusev that he lost, where he's tossing Rusev around. Right now, he's in maybe the best position he's been in that he has an edge to him. He's the personality in his tag team. To me, and I have to look at what we actually said, I chose Gable. The only people who were chose in our poll, Gable had 7 votes. Jordan had 1, which was our man Trav. And Jeremy from Stunt Grady chose Elias, but everybody else was Chad Gable. Shahid, you first. Was Chad Gable the guy, and was anybody missing from this poll?
Nobody's really missing, because when it gets underrated, after those 4, it's kind of like, who do I like that I can push, which is not the same as underrated. If Chad Gable was like 2 inches taller, he'd be champ. Basically,
2 inches?
That's how good.
If he was Korean fight.
That's how good Chad Gable is.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing belly-to-belly suplex chains with Rusev. Let's keep in mind, Rusev is a big, stocky man. Chad Gable is slinging people where, if that was on a video game, I think, back in the day on the certain wrestling video games, if you were a certain size, you ain't suplexing. So, like, Rey Mysterio ain't hitting a power bomb on Big Show, because, nah, this is a video game. This ain't Nintendo.
Yeah.
Chad Gable, breaks games. Chad Gable is an awesome athlete.
You continue, but really quick, Rich and Steve, I want to reach out to you. Is Shelton Benjamin the best consolation prize that Chad Gable could receive? Just a yes or no, really quick.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, keep going.
And the thing with Chad Gable is, as a singles wrestler, he's best as a babyface, because he's sympathetic, he's small, he's awesome in the ring. That long hair helps. The Olympic background helps. It's easy to root for the underdog. As a tag team, him being a heel works best, because he's a dickhead.
He's absolutely
He's an ass, and he can play off that with Shelton Benjamin. And it's amazing, because Shelton Benjamin is what Jason Jordan should be. Shelton's older, he can't do the stuff he can still do. He's still strong as hell. We say
he's old man strength now.
Yeah, and
he's YMCA.
And I used to laugh at them, because they was like, he went to Japan, became a power. They were basically saying he got fat. He gained some weight, became a power wrestler. No, he's stronger than he used to be, but he can still bust out like a running knee to the top rope.
Have you guys noticed that he doesn't do the jump to the top rope anymore? It's a second rope, but his second rope still looks better than most guys jump to the top rope?
Yeah, and that's the thing where people talk about, to Shahid's point about he only got heavy after he messed up his
shoulder, right?
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't lift. He actually put that in an Instagram post after he re-debuted on SmackDown. He gained weight while he was in that offseason, kind of like what we were talking about on the East Coast cast about Hideo Itami and the stuff he had to go through. I really like that team. I think he's a great consolation prize. I know Wade is in the opinion that he isn't ever going to be where people thought he could be, but at this point, you have to accept Shelton Benjamin for who he is, not who you want him to be. He never wanted, he was cool. He wanted to get however high he could get. And having the thing of, I'm cool with what I got, is good for some people. You don't want to have a CM Punk that's nothing ever is going to please them short of everything they want.
Steve, really quick. You might not know the exact number, but what range did Shelton Benjamin fall for you in your all-time WWE poll?
He didn't make it, man.
Listen, and here's the only reason I bring that up. I would argue, and I'd be wrong. I'm looking at him like he's sitting there. I would argue, and I'd be wrong, that Shelton Benjamin had a better WWE career than Ric Flair. I'd argue it, and I'd lose, but I'd argue it.
See, you have to look at the weight of the accomplishments. Shelton had a great 2002, 2003, first half of 2004. But then once you hit the Shelton's Mama stuff on, there's a whole lot of mid. One of the things we...
Fucking analysis, it's great. You're doing great, Steve. Keep going.
That's what they call the jump-up factor, and there was nothing no peak that Shelton Benjamin hit that was anywhere close to the 92 Rumble or WrestleMania 8 with Flair versus Savage, or even Flair versus Perfect at the second or third Monday Night Raw. The closest Shelton came to that was when he pinned Triple H on Raw right after the 04 draft. Mm-hmm. So yeah, week in, week out, I would not argue against your logic, but Flair made my list and Shelton Benjamin did not for that jump-up factor.
How dare you have great analysis and points and facts? That's amazing.
It's basically the point.
And I've had 5 years, so that's
my man.
Basically, Steve basically made the point of why Gale Sayers is better than Curtis Martin. Even though Gale Sayers played Gale Sayers might have like four good years. Mm-hmm. 4 years where he was like healthy. Those 4 years are awesome years. Curtis Martin's in the Hall of Fame. But it's like, I remember that year in 2000. Yeah, you can't remember a year like Curtis Martin that stood out. And that's kind of like Shelton Benjamin. He had Royal Rumble spots. Mm-hmm. And you remember those.
He had Money in the Bank spots.
He had Money in the Bank spots. You remember those. You remember the stuff with Triple H, the good things. You remember the bad stuff with Randy Orton. When Randy Orton called him uppity, said, you too uppity to try to get the IC title, which
I do remember that.
Was never said before and has never been said since, because how you going to be too uppity for the damn IC title back then?
you're too uppity for the Western Heritage title.
You remember him and his mama, and you remember when Shelton Benjamin was the gold standard with the gold hair, but Shelton Benjamin was basically, and you hope Chad Gable didn't run into it, like, he had the potential that was never fulfilled, and people got mad, like, Shelton Benjamin should be more. And soon, and it gets to the point, and it's a lot of times where, okay, potential's fine. You in the game 10 years, potential's over. Like that Al Harrington thing, he's never going to be all NBA.
Wait. Rich, really quick, if you can, give me an Al Harrington nickname.
Good Lord, I don't have one.
I got one. Bachata Al Harrington. No?
What's that mean?
Nothing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I thought you meant Al Horford.
No.
I'm sorry. Al Horford is Bachata Al Harrington. Yeah. Anyway.
And that's the thing.
I was going to say, Al Harrington's closest nickname is just Al.
Yeah.
That's all people got.
No, he's tall Bokeem Woodbine. That's a better one.
There you go.
That's a better one.
We all look alike.
Hit it.
Yeah. And the thing with Chad Gable, and you could look at Shelton Benjamin, the cautionary tale, you would hope Chad Gable wouldn't run into the part where, because of his limitations, he would only get so high. And I think this era is the goodest chance as any where he could get past that. And SmackDown's a perfect show for him. Because all you got to do is look up and down the roster of WWE and NXT. It's like, yeah, the old rules don't apply anymore. Like, you see these fat guys, you see these ugly guys, you see these short guys getting pushes. AJ Styles with his hillbilly accent has been Ric Flair basically since he's been on WWE. He's walking around with that belt and no one's looking at him weird. Like 6 years ago, AJ Styles would have been opening match getting squashed by Snitsky or some guy like that.
Wow.
And so Chad Gable being short is not the deterrent. It's still a deterrent, but it's not this whole deal breaker where it's like, he'll never be champion. I can see him having the belt. Not on Raw. Not on Raw. SmackDown, yeah. Because SmackDown, you look at the SmackDown roster, the big guys are like in the tag team division. Like, Baron Corbin's tall, but he ain't like this unbeatable monster. And Rusev is big, but he's more stocky big. He's not towering anybody. So you could be a short guy and thrive on SmackDown. If he was on Raw, it ain't snowball chance in hell I think he can win the title on Raw. SmackDown, how SmackDown is now,
it's a land of opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Guys.
I think he could do it the way that Daniel did it the first time by cashing in on Big Show after Big Show kept coaching him up to step up, and he finally did it on him. I think I could definitely see Gable doing something like that, but straight up beating somebody, I don't think Vince has it in him. Even if he's worried about a fake XFL reboot or whatever he did with that $100 million. See, I think he's more of a Chris Benoit in WCW kind of scale. where he's kind of on the fringe of the main event and will occasionally have matches with those guys, but I don't see them running with him as the guy. Right.
I'm going to remember forever Chris Benoit, Scott Hall, Monday Night Raw. Chris Benoit was giving him the business, got distracted, and then caught a top rope outsider's edge.
Had to.
I mean,
Only way to put him down.
Only way to put him down.
And my rebuttal to that would be, I see where you guys coming from, but who would have thought AJ Styles would have the career he had when he got to WWE?
True, but AJ has raising my hand, but I'm not on video.
But I mean, think about and there's no detriment to AJ Styles, but think of how Vince looks at Southern wrestlers, short wrestlers, and wrestlers he didn't make. AJ Styles is old, AJ Styles is country, AJ Styles is short. I know he had the New Japan thing, but he also had the TNA thing. So it's like, AJ Styles will come in, he may get some run, and if he's lucky, he can feud with like Dolph Ziggler in the mid-card, or like some mid-card guy, make some money, take care of his kids, and love Jesus. And he's been the man. Like, he's been WWE's best wrestler the past 2 years, and they've given him that time. So seeing that and seeing all the things I've seen, like I seen Jushin Liger wrestle Tyler Breeze on NXT. So I think anything is possible when it comes to WWE wrestling. Like, I seen that was a thing that happened.
Really quick, guys. Rich, give me 1 second, Rich. Salute to Quentin for being on stream. Brian, I figured it out. My screen was just kind of dull. Hey, Layla. We're going to talk about your favorite WWE wrestler here pretty soon. My man Manny Fresh. What's up, baby? Guys, enough about how Chad Gable's underrated. I want to get to a topic that's going to be our fastest topic because it's just going to be a love fest. Now, somebody in this room swears that they didn't vote for who they voted for.
I know what
Again,
I voted for.
I sent this out to 9 podcasters, okay? 8 of the 9 said that the Usos were the tag team of the year. The choices were The Bar, The New Day, Sanity, and the Usos. We had 444 votes. Shout out to Jay-Z. Sanity got 7% of the vote. The New Day, 11% of the vote. The Bar, 20% of the vote. And I want to say this beforehand. The Bar had a great year. You have not so great story writers who could have made the thing with the Bar look a bit better as far as how they finally meshed. That Bar scene was a mess. But I think we had Cesaro doing his thing. Sheamus maybe had his best year ever as far as strictly in-ring with a broken freaking whatever he had. Who knows how he's hurt. But the winners out of 444 votes with 62% of the vote and basically 85% of our podcasters vote.
100%.
85%.
Dude with the highest degree sold them out.
How dare you? Yeah, you too smart to understand greatness. The Usos. I don't even think it's close. What I want to do, starting with Rich, let's start the Usos Love Fest. You get it going, and after Rich is done, Steve, you jump in, then you jump in, and I will close with my love of the Usos. Shout out to that boy, Jay. Jay, you don't know it yet, but when You, Me, and Wrestling has its first episode, it's me and you. Rich, please lead us off.
Hey, day one lockdown. They came in, they saw, they conquered. They took their personalities to a level that I didn't think was possible on television, short of Conan's telling people to toss his salad and peel his potato. Like, they took... I mean, when I watched Nitro, when my friend would make the tapes and bring it, I was like, this dude really is saying this stuff on national television, and nobody's saying anything about it. The Usos did the same thing with the Uso Penitentiary. Like, I know Bruce will say, like, the prison culture, and I was like, it is that, but it's also the fact that these guys, and this is going to sound ignorant, but it's also, I can only go by, outside of pro wrestling, I've known 20 Samoans, mainly because one of my friends has a lot of family members. They are the most down folks I've met outside of going to visit family members that are still living in Harlem. So, like, it isn't them appropriating culture. That's as much a part of their culture as brown folk as black folk. And I don't think people realize that about them until they stopped biting chicken heads off and started walking out with their fits and their jackets and that hat I gotta buy once they start selling it. I will tag out to the next person.
All right, man. These guys are amazing characters. Like you said, just swag for days. And people forget these guys have been on the main roster now for 7.5 years. And if you remember, they came out initially real nice dress, almost like Kanye and College Dropout era. The crisp.
Perfect reference. Perfect.
And the whole deal was, you hate us because we're Samoan, but we're not savages. We're not island boys. We're educated, we're athletic, and we're coming for that ass. And over years, they got away from that a little bit with a little bit of the island dancing and whatnot in the aisle and playing up that aspect. But over the last year, these guys have turned it around. They have, you brought up the lockdown, the prison culture thing. This past Christmas week on SmackDown, when they did the 12 days of the Uso Christmas, it was just them counting down and shouting lockdown after every fucking line. Anybody else did that, it would be awful. Those guys had the charisma to make it work. As far as I'm concerned, these guys are limit for the Usos right now. Anybody that watches Total Divas, I don't know, my wife watches it. The only time I will pay attention is when the Usos are on, because they jump off the screen. The sky's the limit. And I will tag off to the next.
Do me a favor. Can you read that last message to me, please?
The Usos definitely had a breakout year.
My man Manny, he knows what time it is. Okay. You got it.
So, one, I voted for the damn Usos. Let's cut this thing. Just hanging chair. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, yeah. And it's funny where I always make the argument that WWE merchandise, all the shirts are in black. And one of the few exceptions is the New Day. But even though the New Day have different colored shirts, I didn't vote for the New Day. I'm surprised that the Usos didn't win by more as far as the fan thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the second biggest, margin that we have. Like, second biggest percentage, 62%. I think the Bar had a very good year. The New Day, depending on what you watch for, because our man, and nobody, I don't want no slander, our man Mal Reynolds does not get the Usos. And I think it's a cultural thing. Like,
It's definitely cultural.
they're on some street shit. And not even like no derogatory street shit, but just no, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth, and this is what time it is. I'm not afraid of you, and I'm gonna bust on you. Like, we had another couple came over yesterday. You met Robin and Latavia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Faye doesn't like roast me because she doesn't understand that there's a segment of people who bust on each other back and forth. Robin and Latavia came over, and Robin was like, I gotta see it. And we were just laughing and laughing and laughing. So it's cultural, like, you don't necessarily get what they're doing. My thing is, I think they're in ring more than makes up for whatever else they're doing. But
yeah, that's so. 3 things about the Usos. One, I remember bringing up the point, like, during the wrestling thing. Usos are like probably the best team they had in like 20 years, ring wise, personality wise, and everything. Mm-hmm. And like WWE specific top 5 all time, and they ain't 5. And then people start looking at it like, oh yeah, you got a point. Like, you realize they've been a tag team in a long time, a period to up until recently. Tag teams were not a thing.
Yeah,
they don't have to worry about Jimmy Uso singles pushes. Like, they're twins, so they're gonna be a tag team. Or unless somebody get hurt, they're not gonna be anything.
Is that Mal that just jumped in at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yo, Mal, we were just talking about you. I know you don't get the Usos, but they're that good.
2, the whole appropriation thing is funny. It's like, 1, he ain't married Naomi while faking.
No.
So
no, you had to bring it. And this is, I gotta say this the right way. This is thicker Uso that married Naomi, right? Full pause. But yeah, no, sway.
And it's kind of like Samoan, like, people, it's funny where you think of Samoans as kind of like, oh, they headbutting folks and the tribal stuff. The backstage stuff, like, oh yeah, Yokozuna used to play rap music on the bus back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was a thing back then. Rikishi was the same way. It's like, anybody that looks at the Usos, you can tell them look like, yeah, they've been around black people.
Yeah.
And it's not like Crime Time crack black people.
Just
like,
not like the orcs on Bright black people.
Yes.
Just black people.
Yeah. Like, so for me, when they do the Uso penitentiary stuff, when they finally get to talk, it's them being natural. I've seen plenty of people like that. It's like when they first came to me, like, we coming here, we taking your scholarship money, we taking your chances. Like, and people couldn't wrap their head around. It's like, why you don't have a bone in his nose?
Yeah.
Why is he dressed like this? And they couldn't wrap their head around it. And I think the biggest thing that helped them out, and it's funny that it happened, I remember when the New Day was feuding with the Usos on Raw. And the problem happened where the New Day was supposed to be heels, but they were so awesome as heels, they got cheered. To the point where the Usos basically got bodied, because it's kind of like they're baby faces, but they're not as cool as the New Day. So they got pushed to the side. So it's ironic that the New Day basically did the same thing on SmackDown to American Alpha and the New Day. You got to be on your P's and Q's to hang with the New Day when it comes to the mic.
Yeah.
And if they weren't, they got blown out the water. That rap battle they had, and you know what happened, like Wale said the New Day won, because whatever, like, yeah. If you can hang with the New Day on the mic, and you can, like, stand above them, you can hang with almost anybody. Ring style, they can wrestle heel style and babyface style. It's hard to do both. Like, they made beating up a body part enjoyable watching.
Yeah.
Because that could really be dull. Like, one of the things why I don't like the revival as much as other people is this style's effective. It can come off as boring. Because, like, yeah, I remember this from, like, 88. You know, yeah, Arn Tully, work a body part. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I seen that 30 years ago. Usos did it. It looked vicious. It looked like they crippled Chad Gable when they were feuding American Alpha. Like, that stomp to the knee. And now seeing them be baby faces and transition still keep that same fire. I don't know, like, in any other year, the bar would have won easily.
Yeah.
So that tells you how great the Usos were.
Just a couple of things, and if you've listened to me on the East Coast cast, if you've got to hear me on the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling podcast, you've heard me say this, so I don't want to repeat it too much, but first thing, if you go back and look at the Usos' faces against Harper and Rowan, you see how good they are as faces and how good they are in a gimmick match, okay? Number two, American Alpha coming to SmackDown, being the new shit, and the Usos adjusting accordingly and stepping up their game at that point, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Like, the tag team, I wanted to make it the most. I had to concede that another team was better. I've been around with the Usos ever since, so no reason to drag that out, okay? Because I'm such a good host and producer, I've noted that we're at the 115 mark. So this is going to be the end of part one of our Best of WWE 2017 show. I'm Cameron with my man Shahid, with Rich, with Steve, and everybody else who contributed. We appreciate you being a part. You stay tuned for part two. 115.20. Okay, guys, I'm not turning anything off because if we're live streaming, they still see us. Everybody still good to go? Anybody need a break or anything?
I'm good.
Rich, Steve, you good?
Yes, sir.
That's a bet. All right.
And that's if I'm good.
You sitting next to me. You better be good, damn it.
Get some damn pizza.
You can't get no pizza. Yo, if you want a pizza, for real, order a pizza because that'd be funny.
Shoot, you think I'm playing?
No, go ahead and order a pizza. You know the address. Huh?
Who's close?
Who's close? Pizza Hut close. But you don't order pizza. You don't put no good stuff on your pizza.
Wait, you the man that don't like cheese. You talking about my toppings?
Jesus.
No,
Face cooking.
Real quick, he's on the porch.
I don't let you know. No, how dare you? Face cooking when she come back.
When she come back?
Half fast from the goddamn pizza. Okay. Anybody need to acknowledge before we keep going what my man Manny saying?
They're solid, but I think they're overhyped. See, that's why we.
Would you chill out?
That's why we can't listen.
That's why we don't invite nobody from Tacoma, Washington on a damn show. What's Darrell talking about?
Not a damn thing I want to read.
Damn.
But let me see. No, they all right. Revival. Oh, Mandy Fresh Revival is boring as fuck. Yeah.
I like them. I understand that sentiment, but I like them. I think they're good.
They too hipster.
Hey, Darrell, Manny, do me a favor. If y'all can share this on Twitter, like the IG page. That'd be great, so we can keep it going.
Yeah. My thing Revival, they too hipsters. Like you supposed to like them because you supposed to like them. Like they great in the ring, but one, they look too much like rapists. Like all they missing is a damn yellow van. Like I'm not like their style is just deliberate. It's like I seen that style better, and now I see it better with the Usos. Like if the Usos didn't do that style, then I'm like, yeah, the Revival's a thing, and everything like that. And they had great matches in NXT, but I'm like, I just like, yeah.
Number one, we not putting pineapples on pizza, Pierre. And Trevor, long time no see, baby. Taft 03. What's up to you? Okay, so let's keep it going. This is it's a joint production between the South Congress Podcast, PW Torch East Coast Cast, Stunt Granny, and Place to Be Nation. I'm Cameron. I'm with my man Shaheed. We're joined long distance with Stephen Rich. Stephen Rich, you boys doing good?
Doing great.
All right. We are halfway through our Best of 2017 show. We'll definitely have both part 1 and part 2 up. Hopefully you listen to part 1 before part 2 and give us some feedback. Let's just jump into it, guys. We did a number of Twitter polls. Our next poll up, the show of the year, we had 408 votes. 10% went to TakeOver Orlando. 19% went to SummerSlam. 22% went to the Royal Rumble. And overwhelmingly, 49% of the vote, so essentially 200 votes, TakeOver Chicago. Steve, let us know, one, if we needed to maybe substitute a show out, and number two, why you think TakeOver Chicago garnered so much of the vote.
I think TakeOver Chicago garnered the vote solely off the strength of Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne and the Authors of Pain ladder match in the main event. I completely forgot about the rest of the show until you sent us the Wikipedia link today. I thought the Rumble this year was the best Rumble card they've had in years. I thought it was the show of the year. As far as subbing one out, I think it was a fair selection. The takeovers are always good. The Rumble was the best Rumble in ages. So I wouldn't necessarily substitute another show in. But I have to respectfully disagree with the half of the voters that voted for the TakeOver Chicago show to be number 1.
And we're going to talk a bit about the Royal Rumble before we get into why a certain match won. Rich, you want to jump in? Same thing. Did we leave a show out, and is there a reason why TakeOver Chicago garnered so much of the vote? Rich, do we have you? Okay. We'll jump away from
Rich.
Yeah, we'll jump away from Rich for a second. I'm sure Rich will hit us in the group if Rich needs anything. Shaheed, same question. Do we leave a show out?
I mean, it's probably if you look back at it, but nothing. The fact if you have to do research to think about it, then more likely than no, it didn't get to deserve the whole thing because we remember these shows, and we didn't have to do a whole bunch of research to think about these shows, and it was funny because we both saw the Royal Rumble live, so they might.
That's what I want to talk about.
They kind of influence our voting on why it would have been second for me. But no, TakeOver Chicago was awesome because every match up and down the card was dope, and the Pete Dunne Tyler Bate match just by itself is just an amazing damn match. Like for a long time, that was WWE's match of the year. They were 1 or 1A just off that match alone. And that card didn't have any weaknesses on that card.
Yeah.
And WWE, you think about wrestling in general, WWE's had a great year as far as matches. It's kind of like, you've had some great matches on a lot of the shows and you probably forgot about a lot of them. I still remember that match. And I still remember that show. That show stood out. If that show didn't exist, or if that show didn't happen, or maybe if I watched Royal Rumble at home, instead of live, which is funny because normally when you watch live shows, you give them more weight because you're actually there. And I think, I don't know about you, you'll probably talk about for me, I had to bring it down. And it wasn't, I think it was more because of, it was two things that brought this thing down. all the stuff that happened with how they booked Roman Reigns in that match, and the fact that Randy Orton won, and then the fact that I didn't get to see the AJ Styles John Cena match.
Were we at the concession stand?
Yes, for a damn hour.
Yo, that's the like seriously, that's the best concession stand moment I've ever had because, and Steve, I think I told you this. So I'm at the concession stand, and somebody comes up to me and like, "Are you Cameron from the East Coast Cast?" I was like, "Oh," and I didn't know what to do in the moment. I was like, "Yeah," and what was so cool, like, I was doing like the Cameron thing, so. Like,
so you took off your shirt and said, "Yes, I am."
So I don't deserve that, yo.
You definitely deserve that.
But no, it's worse. So, I did the big party thing the night before with the homies. Me and Shahid did the brunch thing with the homegirls like a couple of hours before. So like I'm in full like me mode, like I'm doing my thing, and then like somebody comes up to me and I'm like, "Yo, I am." But here's the kicker though, because this is like almost a year ago, right? I'm like, "Yo, yeah, I am." Well, you listen to the South Congress podcast? They were like, "I've never heard of that." I was like, oh, I'm not doing my job. But no, the second coolest thing, and my man TK, he might be watching or might not be watching, but he's with his son. Because, I'm from San Antonio, so I'm there with people I know. So he's like, "Yo, who do you think's going to win the Royal Rumble?" I was like, "Man, why you asking?" And he was like, "Yo, there's a bet on like free food for my son." And like not that I know nobody, but I read the right stuff. I was like, "Yo, it's gonna be Randy Orton." So my man had his son select Randy Orton's name, and so he got free food for the rest of the night. So it was dope. I was like, "Oh, this is great." And he still thanks me for that, like to this day. So shout out to TK. But no, like that was just a different event because like I think we both realized how good the AJ Styles John Cena match was, but we're watching it live, so it's a different effect.
But we would have appreciated more if we got the chance to actually watch it.
True, we did walk in on like 8 finishers. Yeah. That's also true.
And like I had to watch it on the network to realize, damn, that made me even more angry. Is the fact that I had to watch the network around that was a great match, and we missed most of it. And the funny thing was, I got in line before the start of the cruiserweight match.
Yo, it was on
Rich Swann versus Neville, and I'm thinking, okay, and I'm thinking, no matter, they can change the ropes. Have the match, change the ropes back, so at most I might miss 10 minutes of match. And they must not realize that it's going to be 55,000 people there because they had like 3 spots open and 2 of them ran out of food.
For anybody watching, Rich Swann versus Neville went 14 minutes. So when you go at the start of that match, you expect to be in line and out of line before the end of that.
I left when they started the video package. They did a video package while they changed the ropes. They had the match. They had another video package while they changed the ropes back. And we still missed the majority of the match. So that already left me in a sour mood. And Rich is back. And then,
Rich, can we hear you, Rich?
Yeah, I had it on mute. Okay. And I was watching Arsenal and forgot to put my headset on.
And
so that was just dumb on my part.
Nerd, but you're good, baby. You're good.
And I think the other thing about the Rumble was the fact, like the Rumble was a great match. It was a funny match because some people they had that long ass rant, and I guess if you're a big guy that had asthma, you was taking the whole cart. So when I first saw him, like, are they teleporting? And he rather they like on like a little scooter going up and down the ramp, and like so the people that ran, I think Rusev actually went down. Big E was on a ramp, Mark Henry was on a ramp, so that part was funny. When Goldberg eliminated Brock Lesnar, that was hilarious because everybody thinking they didn't know what was going to happen. And he already sunned them at some Survivor Series, so you think, okay, Brock going to get his payback. Like, nope.
One of the best serves.
Yeah. And then I think the biggest thing was it was like open spots, and it was the big idea, like, who's going to be number 30? Is it going to be Joe? Is somebody coming back? And yada, yada, yada. And the fact that one, it was Roman Reigns. And then he eliminates Undertaker in Texas. Undertaker's from Texas. A lot of people that were at the Royal Rumble knows Undertaker's from Texas.
It's a big state.
Whatever. That crowd was funny because it was a big crowd, but it felt like a Raw crowd, just an oversized Raw crowd. It was a lot of regular fans, a whole lot of smart fans, and they booked that where they had to know they wanted Roman Reigns to get booed.
They wanted
Roman Reigns to get booed. Like, there's no way you're gonna have him come in at 30 and then eliminate Undertaker. And it got to the point where Randy Orton got cheered when he won.
And we were sitting there like,
Like, they did all this to make sure, like, we want Randy Orton to win, but we gotta find a way for people to like it. So let's make Roman Reigns look like a dick.
Who are your 2 favorite streamers on Twitch? Do you have 2?
Jeff and whoever his friend is.
Jeff the Boss, my favorite Twitch streamer. Jeff, I see you. Salute. I need you to stream some. What's a game you need to see? Mario Odyssey.
Nah, you did that in like 6 minutes.
Damn it, Jeff! I need you to stream. I don't know. Give me some GTA. I know you got it. I'm trying to play it online now. I don't got the time. You stream it. My man Jeff the Boss. Salute. Guys. The biggest difference between TakeOver Chicago and every other card on here, and actually it kind of matches up with Orlando, it's 5 matches. Royal Rumble was 8 matches. SummerSlam was 13 matches. TakeOver Chicago was 5 matches. I think we might have done Eric Young a disservice by not putting him on maybe a surprise of the year. Because Eric Young's done more in WWE than I think we all ever thought he would. Even if it's not as much as he could do.
Is it a surprise if he just got a chance? Because, like, Eric Young's ability was never the issue. Mm-hmm. It was just his usage. And we've seen with NXT, they know how to use people.
Steve, Rich, does Killian Dane sound like the name of somebody who would steal your 401k?
He sounds like someone who may steal my entire identity and come out with an American Express card. Absolutely.
It's not even evil. It's just diabolical. Killian Dane.
Like the guy who, right when you think you got enough money to save the rec center, bought the bank, and it's like, well,
no, he absolutely he turns into a wolf during a lunar eclipse and has mad CO2 emissions from his car. Like it's that. Okay, so but I think. And you tell me if I'm wrong, we think it's between Royal Rumble and TakeOver Chicago, but we understand aesthetically why people said TakeOver Chicago. Like, let me run down the card real quick. Roderick Strong beat Eric Young in match 1. Pete Dunne defeated Tyler Bate in one of the best matches of the year. Asuka defeated Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott in a good match. Bobby Roode beat Hideo Itami for the NXT title in probably the best NXT title match that Bobby Roode was in. And we can argue about that. But then, and Steve, I'm blaming this on you, even though it's not your fault, because we all co-signed it. A match that we did not enter in NXT's Match of the Year contest, AOP beat DIY in a ladder match for the championship. Do we all kind of agree that this was probably the best NXT card?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue against it. They're all good to great.
No.
So they all kind of blended together for me this year. So yeah, just based on the strength of the UK title match alone, I would give this one the nod.
Agreed.
It's one of them I would think about. I know it was a card where Sasha wrestled Bayley and Joe wrestled Finn.
That was 2017.
No, you talking about?
Best all time.
Yeah, best all time.
Okay.
Like that one stood out because that one I remember I just had a lot of fire. But the thing that's hard with NXT is like they have so many good cards where you forget a lot of them. You gotta actually.
I think that was TakeOver Brooklyn too, Shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, let's go ahead and jump past it. Female Wrestler of the Year. No, I can't say Woman of the Year because then some dumbass would say, "Why isn't Stephanie McMahon on here?" But
Fuck
yeah,
that guy.
exactly. Female Wrestler of the Year because I'm an English degree. I know adjectives. 446 votes in total. 2% went to Naomi. We're not gonna talk about that. You promise?
I was the 2%.
Yes, but we're not gonna talk about.
You and Bruce Mitchell. Wait.
Oh, that's a slug. God, that's a slug. And no, yes, Steve did actually vote that on our poll. 13% went to Charlotte, 39% went to Asuka, 46% went to Alexa Bliss. Now, I actually want to start this one off. I think that a strong portion of that was because people only watch the main roster. And I really do feel that way. I think Alexa Bliss had a great year. I think on the microphone, she's the best that they have. I think she showed. What's the best way I can say it? I'm young. I'm 32. That's not young anymore, right? Grant Hill was good in college, but Christian Laettner was the man. And Bobby Hurley hit the threes, and Tyrone Hill was ugly. So all those things overshadowed Grant Hill, right? Grant Hill gets to the league, and Grant Hill is that man. Like I didn't see him coming, but that could just be my eyes. I say all that to say, I didn't know Alexa Bliss would be as good as she was on the main roster until she was there and she was doing her thing. She's really great. To me, as somebody who understands that it's 2017, if I want to see attractive women, I can do on my own with my phone when nobody's looking and they're doing crazy stuff. Asuka, as far as an in-ring performer, as far as having a competitive match, as far as giving me the things I desire from wrestling, Asuka would be over Alexa Bliss, who was good, but not as good as Asuka. I just think that she was that great. I think outside of our most overrated wrestler, this was our closest vote because she was that good. But I understand why people have voted Alexa Bliss. Exposure is a big part of why you decide things. But I think Asuka, as far as match quality, was that good. But I understand Alexa Bliss. Shahid, why, number one, did Alexa Bliss win? Number two, and I got to check your vote specifically, why didn't Asuka win?
Alexa Bliss won because she's great on the mic, she's pretty, she got a wang.
Wang and tell.
And she's one of the few people in the main roster that's used the way she should be used. Like, she's a heel. They let her be a heel. They maximize her heel potential, and they didn't really botch it. Besides the stuff with Mickie James, that one feud, they haven't stepped in correctly as far as pushing her. I didn't vote for her because ring work counts too, and she's decent. Decent's not enough to be top when you have great or very good wrestlers on the. You look at Raw, you could charitably say she's fourth best ring wise. Because I would definitely put Bayley in front of her. I would put Sasha Banks in front of her. I put Mickie James ring work in front of her. That's just a thing. Not even counting SmackDown women. Reason I voted for, I know why people voted for Alexa Bliss. It's a popular vote, and if you don't watch NXT, you haven't seen that much of Asuka on the main roster. You haven't seen enough to vote for her, and it wasn't. Naomi's kind of where a lot of people don't really watch SmackDown. So it's she was a thing, but if you didn't watch SmackDown, you only saw her losing Natalya on pay-per-view a few times, or her beating Natalya once or twice on pay-per-view, or beating Alexa on pay-per-view. I voted for Asuka because I don't think. And it really sunk in because I was watching her list of matches because they had collection of Asuka. They've never had a woman like that where she's Chong Li, she's a badass, and especially as her character morphed, because she came there, I'm so excited to be NXT, I want to be champion, and it was funny when Dana Brooke and Emma came out, and they was basically punking her, and she just walk away. And then she had this sinister ass smile, and it's she's an evil baby face. She come in likable and everything like that, but then you see her you said yourself, one of her advantages, she dresses like a grown ass woman. Asuka feels like an adult.
Yeah,
she's lived life. When she wrestles it doesn't matter what size you are or who you are. She will beat you up. She'll bully anybody. She's the only individual where she could wrestle Nia Jax straight up, and she don't need Nia Jax to run into a pole or trip over a chair. She can square up like one-on-one and make it look believable. Like, yeah, I can kick down Nia Jax and choke her out, and nobody else can do that.
Rich, talk about it. Female Wrestler of the Year. Anybody we left out? Was the right choice made by the masses? And if not, and I have to check your specific choice.
No, you don't. You already know who
I do. Alexa Bliss got 3 votes out of the 6, and none of them were from this group. And we'll talk about Steve's vote last because I got to hear it. But go ahead, Rich.
I'm going to pick up right where he left off. Not only did she show character and she showed personality with the Dana, Emma, which Shahid and I talked offline about this. That team was the proto Billy Kay and Peyton Hoyce.
Did you say Hoyce?
In terms of just
his Brazilian kicked in.
Yes, she's now Brazilian. She's in the Gracie family. But when you have her going up against Ember Moon and going up against Nikki Glenn Cross and Glenn Close or Travis, and she's in the back eating like a strawberry or something in the SUV and starts screaming in Japanese because Nikki Cross is on the roof of the SUV screaming at her. Like, you didn't need English, you didn't need subtitles. You knew what was going on. And how she just would, toward the end of her stay in NXT, she was so desperate to keep the belt, she would do whatever it took. And everyone was fine with it. And the more she got to do that, the more swagger she got. And the more swagger she got, the more problematic she came. And the more likely my wife was probably going to shave me. So I'm glad she's on the main roster because I don't want to get stabbed.
Steve, you are the only person out of our esteemed, prestigious podcasters poll that did not pick Asuka or Alexa Bliss. Please tell the masses why you chose Naomi.
All right, it came down to Asuka and Naomi for me. Asuka was dominant. Obviously, she's a hell of a wrestler. I felt there was a missed opportunity there after TakeOver Orlando, where she, for the first time, showed a little bit of weakness, shoved the referee into the ropes to mess up Ember Moon's finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it looked like the start of a heel run, where she could not quite be a chicken shit, but have all the swagger, braggadocious, whatever. But at the same time, she knows that Ember Moon has her number.
Yeah.
And that could have led to a bit of a run where Ember finally comes back and beats her clean at TakeOver Brooklyn. And instead, she stayed a babyface, got even more of a badass character, and then waxed Ember clean a second time, and then moved on up.
Completely agree. Yeah, keep going.
I think the injury played a big deal too. Sorry that went.
Okay, an injury did happen, so that could have affected outcome, but I agree, Steve. Guys, in the interest of time, let's go ahead to Male Wrestler of the Year, because this is going to be easy. I just want to read the results for Male Wrestler of the Year. Cameron, AJ Styles. Travis, AJ Styles. Chris, AJ Styles. Shahid, AJ Styles. Steve, AJ Styles. Ryan, Roman Reigns. Jeremy, Roman Reigns. Jeremy, Braun Strowman. Kevin, Braun Strowman. And Rich Fan the Third, Braun Strowman. Rich.
That was Trey. Trey filled that part out.
Rich. Don't blame Trey. Don't blame, just because Trey got a big head don't mean he's thinking too hard, okay?
That
Rich.
Man, a 5-year-old body hit me with a reverse Frankenstein, and I could not recall making that.
Well, Rich, either, no, guys, this is where we have to talk about it. Steve, a smart guy, college educated guy. Rich, smart guy, college educated guy. Shahid, smart guy, college educated guy. Cameron, smart guy, college educated guy. Guys, did we do this poll and this show a disservice by leaving Miz off of this poll?
There's no room for the Intercontinental Champion in a best of top tier kind of poll.
Talk that shit. Talk that shit.
He's holding down the mid card. He's doing great at his spot, but his spot is not the main event spot. God bless him. He's walking around with Chris Calamita with long hair and Mr. Perfect Son, but he is not. He's not the man. He's just not.
I think we've and Rich on the East Coast
here's
cast.
where I'm gonna get on my hill.
You got it.
I'm gonna say AJ Styles, right? We all know AJ's greatness. I'm not gonna say that Braun Strowman's a better wrestler.
Okay.
And this is where the numbers came in again because I was messing around with that site when I was doing my vote. AJ Styles, in the 2 years he's been in WWE, has had 286 matches. Braun Strowman has had 232 matches on the main roster.
Oh, wow.
Braun Strowman has a year and a half as a professional wrestler before he got there. Based on him going from a blank slate to one of the main eventers they rely on Raw, I was very secure in saying he was one of the best wrestlers in 2017.
So Braun Wentz is what you're saying.
Braun Wentz, oh my God, yes.
I just wanted to see. You can't see the stream. I wanted to see how Shahid would react, and he was super mad immediately.
No. Okay, here's my thing. I'm glad. Okay. I'm not surprised by who voted for Braun Strowman. He would be my second vote because Braun had an amazing year. And, the fact,
and before you continue, let me just talk about it. Brock Lesnar got 4% of the vote. And let me preface, this is our most voted on poll. 720 votes. Brock Lesnar got 4%. Roman Reigns got 5%. Braun Strowman got 20%. So 71% of the vote for Male Wrestler of the Year went to AJ Styles. You got it?
Yeah. I could see why a lot of people vote for Braun Strowman because it's like he came out of nowhere. And it got to the point where people were getting excited with him having a 20-minute match with the Big Show.
So good.
He was having a Raw like Flair Steamboat run with the damn Big Show. Like they was having cage matches. They're doing chain wrestling. He's doing drop kicks and Timbs.
Drop kicks and Timbs.
Like
you fight on the block.
Went from the stereotypical goofball monster to he was like Stone Cold. People get excited when his music hit. People want to see Braun Strowman. It got to the point where people wanted him to beat Brock Lesnar for the belt, and it didn't have anything to do with them not liking Brock Lesnar. Like Braun was that man. Having said all that, AJ Styles is Ric Flair 2.0, and if Braun coming from nowhere to being where he is that's great. If he had like most improved or comeback rest of the year, he win. As far as like rest of the year, that means best. As far as like who put the best matches, best character, it's still AJ Styles. I
got two college graduates who just dropped some knowledge. I'm going to refer back to recency effect and what Steve also eloquently said as far as if you're not the top guy, you can't really be in the top vote. AJ Styles was not the top guy for the entire year, whereas Braun was. AJ had to take a back seat.
That's fair.
But even I would say this, AJ Styles made a good point. He started as champ, he finished as champ. He might have not been a native, but even
at the time of the vote, we were talking about U.S. champ AJ going through life kind of handling things.
I know you felt that way because Miz got that slander, and I understand.
I'm just going by the same recency effect. AJ has been in the last few weeks with that love, but the entire year was Mr. Hassan 2.0s.
And you know what I'd say, Rich, and it's only to be a counterpoint, only to be devil's advocate. For 2 years, Darren McFadden was the most fun player to watch in football, even though he wasn't a pro. You know, he was throwing the ball and catching the ball and running the ball better than anybody as far as what you can watch on like a television level. So like I agree with Shahid in that AJ was just what he was doing, regardless of where he was doing it, was of such a high quality that you appreciate it. Like to me, like a rapper who's not on the radio can absolutely be the best rapper of that year if what he's doing I'm feeling on that level. Full pause. But yeah, you got it.
And I'll say this. Think about this. And I know Cam would disagree, but there's a large percentage of people, if you ask them who had the best match on WrestleMania, AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. Let's think about that. And
I'm choking.
Yeah. That was still, if that wasn't the best match, that was my favorite match of Mania. Like, that match was way better than it had any business to be, considering how old Shane McMahon is, and the fact that and that's a lot of part of. And I remember people being pissed off, like they're wasting AJ Styles. I'm like, they're gonna have a great match because one, Shane will put his body on the line. He can do that stunt stuff, and AJ Styles is not going to embarrass himself on WrestleMania. Like,
so facts.
And they put that work in. Like he had a better, more entertaining match with Shane than he did with Jericho the year before. So, and I remember how people felt that way about why he lose to Jericho. Like, it's funny, ever since I lost to Jericho the year before, AJ Styles has been on this upswing. You know, he's had.
Well, see, I'd go a step further. That's what I was going to say earlier in part one. He went on the upswing when Willis's boy was shown to be an excellent wrestler in his own right by wrestling him for like 3 months in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, no, he brought the very best out of Roman Reigns, and we all acknowledged that when it happened. Like, we are all like, no, yeah,
Willis didn't acknowledge it.
Willis was like, man, he carried him to a 2.5-star match.
That's a slug. That's a slug.
Sorry,
no.
Really quick, can you read Darrell's comment so we can talk about that?
Yes. They don't want to read the okay. Miz held up SmackDown when he was on the come up when he said the best show. Yeah, that was 2016.
Facts.
We talking about
that's last year.
Yeah, and that was my
what did you do for me this year,
and
Darrell?
And that's came my same thing with Miz, not just Miz and Dean Ambrose. They both were still getting that, the love for what they did on SmackDown the year before. Like, Miz on the mic was awesome. Miz in the ring is like, and it's not, I don't know if it's necessarily a fault from him because he didn't have an opportunity, but I remember the match he had with Roman Reigns. He had the multi-man match, but it's like too much time they had him wasting with like Jason Jordan and bums. And it's like, or he was making movies.
I leaned to every camera with the, I don't know what to say. You guys missed it.
Like ring work, he just didn't have the opportunity to do enough. And he was kind of like coasting off the great matches he had like with Dolph Ziggler on SmackDown. Like, he didn't have a lot of great matches on Raw, but he was a great character. So it's like, yeah, wrestling, like Steve said, yeah, being IC champion, unless you like Macho Man Randy Savage mid 80s, that's not gonna be Wrestler of the Year. It's different this year. And wrap it up, funny thing. It's funny Brock Lesnar got so few votes and he got a lot of overrated votes, but he was in a lot of the best matches in WWE. And it wasn't just because he was wrestling the other guy. Like, it's funny thinking about that. Like, Brock had that great match with Goldberg. Brock had that great match with Samoa Joe. Brock had that great match at SummerSlam, and Brock had that great match at AJ Styles. How many people in the main roster say they had 4 great matches that people
Brock
remember?
Lesnar is in 32% of the match of the year votes. So, he's wrestler of the year. I think is always going to be based on longevity. But when we talk about moments, he's up there. But let's move on. Match of the year, NXT, it's not even close, guys. 6% AOP Sanity from TakeOver Brooklyn. 8% Oscar Moon TakeOver Orlando. 25% Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black TakeOver Houston. And 61% on what, if we did an additional poll, might win just match of the year, period. Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, European title, TakeOver Chicago. I talked about this a lot yesterday, so I won't dwell on it too much. To me, if you had 2 guys who knew each other for years, who knew all the ins and outs of one another, full pause, who completely trusted each other as far as in a wrestling ring, who knew each other's moves and, I don't know, feelings and ideas, Bate Dunne would be that. Bate Dunne was the easy choice for me. And let me lay it out. Bate Dunne won 6 votes. 2 went to Black versus Dream Takeover Houston, one of which was our man Rich, and 1 went to Oscar Moon, which was our man Trav, which I thought was a close number 2. But most of the votes went to Bait Dunn. Steve Williams, tell us about why you voted for Bait Dunn.
Man, I can tell you exactly what I was doing when I watched that match. I had worked that day, so I missed the opener. I get off work at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm in the middle of trying to get a workout in while watching this match, doing overhead shoulder presses when Pete Dunne hit the X-Plex on the apron. And I swear to God, I popped like I was 10 years old and almost dropped the damn weights on my head. Had to stop everything I was doing, sit down, and finish watching these matches. I watched the UK tournament. I had kind of a working understanding of these guys. Through Rich, obviously, he's the more knowledgeable of the international wrestling of this group. But these guys just out of nowhere came in and stole the show. And since then, as far as I'm concerned, Pete Dunne has potential to be the guy.
Yeah.
Not immediately, but with some work within the next 5 years, Pete Dunne can absolutely be a main event heel.
And Steve, let me cut you off really quick. I was probably as high on Tyler Bate as anybody could be. Like, I looked at the guy, his physique, his strength, and how he can sell as a babyface, and I was like, he's 20? How? And then, but then he gets in the ring with Pete Dunne. I'm like, wow, Tyler Bate is really good, but Pete Dunne is that much better is what he's doing. It's ridiculous. Like, he's that good. But no, keep going.
And you said it privately that the fact that he looks like an ugly girl really helps his whole aura.
It's so good.
He's this little bastard with a tattoo on his kneecap. I mean, who the hell does that?
But you don't like Shahid.
With a mouthpiece, but he's in there just doing old school limb work with high impact moves, and he's wrecking people, and it all makes sense. He has this body language charisma that is unexplainable. That guy has money written all over him if they can figure out how to promote it.
Yeah, Triple H taking a liking to him is really cool. Him kind of paying tribute to Daniel Bryan through his tights is also really cool. Like, there's a lot of things to like about Pete Dunne. Shahid, go ahead and grab it.
I picked this match because they did something that is so difficult to do. They have this awesome feud that's solely based on ring work because they don't have a show. So all we get to see them is when they wrestle each other. They've had 3 great matches. I didn't get to see the last NXT match. I heard that was great too. The UK tournament match was awesome. This match
shout out to Jared Michael, who tried to put us on match 3, but we were busy.
Yeah,
but we're gonna watch
this match here for a long time was WWE's match of the year. And now it's kind of like 101A. Like, they having a great feud where you hear Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, you want to see it. And it's solely off ring work. If you didn't know anything else. Like, if you know the backstory, okay, these 2 British vegans, they grew up like
chill out.
I mean, they're both
chill out.
I mean, that's a thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of like, you see Pete Dunne look like Peppermint Patty with a grudge, and you're like, who's this? Who this?
Y'all do something with him, man.
Who is this little munchkin man that's just so awesome around? Like, you see it, like, some people you can see, and it's like within 5 minutes, they have something. Like, when I saw Nakamura for the first time in NXT, I was like, I don't know what it is. I know what Dre was talking about. Because Dre used to say all the time about Nakamura, and I'm like, this guy looks like a weirdo. But then as soon as he just does his thing, it's like, I can see it. Pete done the same thing. He just has it, and they can build off past matches. Like, this spot worked here, so we can do a counter on that. And like you said before, when you know what the other person does, you can just go out there and tell a story.
Yeah.
And the fact you put them, and they have a crowd that's receptive to those type of things. Where Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, I know I'm gonna have a great match. I don't need to know anything else. And it's funny where Steve brought the whole thing. It's like, well, he runs into the same problem Chad Gable runs into, where he's not necessarily a big guy. It's hard being a small heel around big heels. Taz ran into that problem. Like, you can be a bully. You can be a bully on ECW when you can be 5'8" and be a bully when everybody's 5'6". You ain't bullying somebody 6'5". that's like bench pressing the same thing you bench pressing. Like, and I hope he doesn't run into that problem. If he's on Raw, how he gonna be a monster when Braun Strowman's a real monster?
Yeah.
Or Samoa Joe looking like Frankenstein is also a real monster. Like, and you don't want to pigeonhole him just be like he can beat a bully on 205 Live because he can do more than that. But they had awesome matches, and that match easily won.
Rich, here's what I gotta ask. We've seen 3 matches. How familiar are Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne with one another?
Oh, they've been in a stable together for the last 4 years.
Okay.
British strong style, them. And then one of the funnier members of British wrestling in terms of Tyler, you have Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and then my dude, Trent Seven. And so the 3 of them, depending on the group they're in England, are either faces or heels. And once they all signed with WWE, they basically became Triple H's envoys to indie wrestling. So every time they would show up at a place, all 3 of them would show up, do their regular stuff, pull out water, and do the Triple H water spit before they got in the ring.
That's
to the
amazing.
consternation of the crowd, because how dare you wear your NXT jumpsuits anywhere you go as your entrance gear.
That's Rich. That's why we need you on these things. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
So one of the best things about it was they had a show, and I'm going to be quick about this. Trent Seven had a match against Matt Riddle, and Trent, you've seen Trent. He's a beefier dude. He basically pulled the kicker from the replacements and said, "Listen, you big fatty, I'm a real shoot fighter. I'll knock you out in 30 seconds."
Wow.
And then took a roundhouse kick to the head and was out in 3 seconds.
That's great. That's perfect.
And Pete is the guy that you guys were mentioning in the Land of Monsters. The look you need to remember with Pete Dunne is the look he had when Triple H is smiling in the corner after that first night of the UK tournament where he threw the dude off the stage, and Regal's like, you are going to ruin this for me and I won't let you do it. And he put his hands up and he still had the mouthpiece in, and he's like, what, me? That's the look he'd have when he's going up against one of those monsters, and somehow he gets a stipulation at it that they're like, wait, why do I have to wrestle with one hand behind my back? I don't know.
No, Travis hating Pete Dunne lets me know how great Pete Dunne is. And we can talk about that off air. Okay, so before we get to our final topic, I want you guys to give one answer for this, and we won't touch on it again. Just one answer. I'm going to say feud of the year is New Day Usos. Rich, you're still on a hot mic. What's your feud of the year?
I'd go New Day Usos.
Steve, your feud of the year.
New Day Usos.
Shahid, your feud of the year.
I'd go the same.
Okay, so New Day Usos. People were kind enough to say, hey, you left that off of your poll, but that's what they decided primarily, so that was it. Real quick, can you read Darrell's comment before we continue?
The raise of Pete Dunne in this year was a setup to him having a bigger 2018. I hope you thank your God and Savior Triple H for that, Darrell.
God and Savior, Triple H. Okay, guys, our final poll, let's go ahead and put it out there. Match of the year, main roster. 446 votes. 13% went to the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title at SummerSlam. 19% went to Lesnar and Styles at Survivor Series, which kind of eliminates our recency bias. Okay? 20% New Day Usos SummerSlam, and I have to acknowledge, pre-show, like it was that damn good. 48%. So 200 plus votes. John Cena, AJ Styles, WWE title, Royal Rumble. Now, you and I were there live. We saw, 60% of that match, give or take?
More like 16%.
More like 16. We saw all the big, we saw Styles Clash, Death Valley Driver into neck breaker, middle rope, AA, all kinds of stuff. Clearly, to us, it was that good. Me speaking for me, full of mimosas and angst. I didn't like that my man AJ had to lose just so John Cena can get a title shot. But I do realize, just like I did with Triple H Undertaker at Mania, how good it was, whether I liked it.
It wasn't even that. It was the fact that AJ Styles lost, and then John Cena loses to Bray Wyatt to set up Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
But in fairness, let's talk about the moment, because that you're right. But let's talk about
the reason. Okay, the reason that bothered me that match was the fact that you kind of knew it was coming. If AJ Styles would have won, that probably would have been my number one match. And it felt like it did the service to Cena. Like he tied the record and then like lost the belt
not
long after. And it was kind of like it didn't help any of them because like it didn't help Styles because Styles had all this momentum.
Even though they both had a really good elimination chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn that a little bit so people can see you.
Well, I'm gonna watch this, but yeah, it was kind of like that match is a case of the finish can definitely affect your voting as far as a match. Like if AJ Styles won that match, that match gets more votes. Just because how people felt about AJ Styles, they felt like even though he beat Cena, he already beat Cena multiple times, he deserved to win that match. And I think what happened, not the fact that Cena won, it's what happened after. Even though it's not fair because that doesn't have anything to do with the match, that's still people remember that. It's like Cena wins his match, he ties the record, then he loses the belt to Bray Wyatt, and then now when you're watching Bray Wyatt wrestle Randy Orton, you see a fake snake on the turnbuckle,
fake sperm on the mat.
Or all that stuff where you see rats and like
Steve, do you remember that scene from WrestleMania?
I almost made a very untasteful comment, but yes, I do remember the Randy Orton chasing the sperm down the aisle, and then worms being on the actual canvas during that match. It was not a good look for anybody.
I remember watching that and like I think I actively, and I'm Muslim, I say Jesus fucking Christ.
That's funny. That's a good one.
And I'm like, who? And I saw that, and I'm like, who? Oh, why? Like I'm just making, you see the memes just make that face. Like I made a face like, who thought this was a smart idea? And they kept doing it. It looked worse each time. I'm like, are we supposed to think that either we're all hallucinating and seeing this, or Bray Wyatt's a magician? And if he's a magician, why don't he just turn Randy Orton into a garter snake and step on him? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, but no, the fact that the Usos, the New Day, and they already had great matches before that, it was a pre-show match, and that match was awesome.
And let's talk about that really quick. Again, did I already say the numbers? Yeah. Fatal 4-Way 13%, Legend of Styles 19%, New Day Usos SummerSlam pre-show 20%, 48% Cena Styles Royal Rumble. Like I remember having arguments, and again, it benefits me to not be a Wade Keller or a Dave Meltzer because I feel like I can communicate with people on a different level that's not held against me monetarily. They were like, yo, how can you vote for New Day Usos over Rollins Ambrose, the Bar, WrestleMania main card? I was like, because I'm a grown-ass man with eyes. I can do what I want. But, I mean, it was ostensibly better. And then WWE's vote at the end of the year, that match, like, here's the thing. I don't, look to WWE for approval or for vindication or anything, but I do think eyes pretty much work the same. They agreed that the 4 matches that we picked as the 4 best matches were the top 4 main roster matches of the year, along with the Bait Dunn match, which was voted as a top 5 match.
And it should tell you something that WWE acknowledged the fact that they made a mistake by picking that match. They had that match on the pre-show, and they probably realized, we messed up.
Did the New Day and the Usos get a monetary bonus for the SummerSlam pre-show match after that poll came out? Not our poll, but their poll.
No, I think they got an attaboy.
Okay. They got a strong pat on the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like I just put in our group meet, Naomi just put on Twitter what we were talking about earlier as far as Jimmy being the Iron Man of WWE, wrestling with fewer than 24 days off in the 6-7 years he's been there, and that's not going to give him any bonus. They're not going to be like, we're proud of you. It's like, well, keep it up.
Yeah. Guys, I think we've about, and Rich, if you want to say any more about the Cena Styles match, you can. But I think we've about covered the different things in the polls. Anything else you guys want to add?
I will say that I thought the Hell in a Cell match with New Days and Usos was better. I watched both of them yesterday. But that SummerSlam match was just a great little surprise that came out of nowhere. These guys have been working together for a while. They had good chemistry, but especially considering that was a pre-show match, easily the best pre-show match of all time. The fact that they went from the pre-show in August to a main promoted Hell in a Cell match in October tells you how good that match was and how much their stock rose from that. Usos and New Day deserve every bit of money they got this year for sure.
Look how you worded it.
Yeah, it's fine. Wherever you rank the Usos, you have to rank them higher after 2017. And you have to credit the Usos for bringing them to that level. It's just facts. It's just real.
Quick shout out to two of them, the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam, because that was basically like a damn monster match.
Great match.
Like they started off where like you all got 5 finishers. It's a 10-minute time limit, and the stamina's turned off. So there's you.
Yeah. If I can, and this is what I want to do to end the show. I want all you guys to take a second to think about 3 acts, and they can be teams. 3 acts that you give credit for over 2017, and they can all be different. Just as a salute to what they gave you this year. I'm gonna steal the Usos, so nobody else says them early on, for just being a renaissance team of 2017, for giving me that feeling of what tag team wrestling should be, for keeping it real, and for just being authentic and putting on great matches. I want to give a shout out to the Usos. I want to give a shout out to Ember Moon. And my last act would be, I don't know, Tyler Bate, for being a kid who's strong, who wrestles fantastic. Those would be my 3 for 2017. Shahid, let's give our Skype partners a bit more time. Let's put you on the spot.
I think my 3 would be Rusev, for the fact that we talk about SmackDown being a land opportunity. It's still amazing that through that goofy Rusev Day thing, he's the most over guy on SmackDown. Like, when it says a lot that when Daniel Bryan was talking about the U.S. tournament, they started chanting Rusev's name before he even came out.
No match.
They just wanted, like, he did that on his own. Like, I'm making a joke, like, he gonna get in trouble. Because he's getting over way more than he's supposed to as a heel. Like, he's supposed to be a heel. Him and Aiden English are like, they're getting beloved, and I don't think they were supposed to. So Rusev would definitely be one. Asuka would be my second one, for the fact that she can be a coward. Well, that's why I call her Chong Li, because Chong Li at the end of the day was still a coward. Like, he was a bully. He was killing people. He still cheated when he fought Frank Dukes. And Asuka tried to cheat. They still cheered her. Like, she was fighting dirty. She was doing whatever stuff, and she was just this sexy badass that, because she got that eye makeup on, she biting that mask. Was like, I ain't gonna boo her. I want to have my damn baby. And the third one I would say would be Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe is like the people's champ. He came in from Jump Street on the main roster and just started beating people. He beat Roman Reigns clean.
And beating people up
He's been beating up people in the Shield like clean. Like that match he had when he basically punked out Jason Jordan and then rolled in the ring and choked out Dean Ambrose. And everybody treating him like he's just the biggest badass in the world. Like, he's supposed to be a heel, and his music hits. They start chanting his name. He just comes out, I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you look like. I'm going to choke you out. If you want to catch these hands, come catch these hands. It's something to be said about somebody that says you going to catch these damn hands. He gives you those damn hands, looking the way he looks, and just walks out. So those are my 3.
Guys, before you go, what do you like better? New York or Scotland, or New York or Ireland, if you had to pick one?
I mean, Ireland had famine. Man, they didn't have food for a while.
Okay.
So
Shout out to Will Johnson first. Shout out to David Lee second.
Yeah, so
We see y'all. We
York.
appreciate it. Okay. Rich, go ahead, man. Three acts or performers that you want to salute in the year of our Lord 2017.
Well, I would say definitely Sanity, because they have a top to bottom complete act. They've got a tag team, they got the mouthpiece, they got a woman that's off to her side doing God knows what. And I think bringing them onto SmackDown might be fun, but as long as they're in NXT, they're just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that War Games kind of proved it, because they were kind of the other team in it, and they kind of proved themselves to be a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, as far as a women wrestler goes, I'll give credit to Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, because I think in 2017 they're doing what Asuka did, but in a more low-key way as far as holding down that division, being the people that everyone either wants to punch in the face or the foil for Ember Moon as she proves she's not Daniel Cormier.
Yeah. Steve, I told you about them strong foreheads. You better be careful out there, man. I told you.
Just pushing that agenda. You need to cut that out.
Who's your third, Rich?
I would say my third would be, I want to see what happens with Jason Jordan now that he's turned face or whatever he is with Seth Rollins, because I think having two of the most athletic and incomplete wrestlers on the roster together might do both of them more good than people think.
Yeah. Steve, who you got? Who's your three, man?
My three are Cassius Ohno, for one.
Wow.
This year he came back from out of nowhere after just tearing it up on the Indies. He's got a second chance. He's slowly but surely coming back along, re-familiarizing himself with this new NXT system. Just had that great match for Gargano a few weeks ago. I see big things for him in 2018. Second is Nikki Cross, kind of latching on to Rich's point there about sanity. She's a woman who brings something completely different to the roster. There's nobody else like her. The closest thing I can think of is Daphne back from WCW.
That's a good pull. Yeah.
Without the screaming nonsense. I see big things for her once they call her up. And lastly, man, shout out to the slow but steady Cesaro. Just low-key, putting on amazing matches.
Yeah.
Making a solid case for being one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Had a match with broken teeth.
Yeah. Like again, lost his teeth in a match. Got rid of the beach ball shit in a match. Like Cesaro is special. We've always said he's special, but like this is different. Like the way that he's equated himself. You know, he's really Jason Statham in, what was that movie? The first one that we cared about? Transporter. That's really who he is. And like,
Not only that, man, real quick, not only did he lose his teeth, but he had the wherewithal to get up, find a camera, and make a face that showed off the fact that he was missing teeth.
It's amazing.
And then worked for another 15 minutes. He's a fucking man, is what he is.
He's amazing. Like, he really is. Like, he's really, what is that? I'm not going to get the pull, and I'm so good at pulls. It's not an almanac. What's the thing that you don't know English or you don't know another language, but you use it? There's infomercials for it. Come on, guys.
Rosetta Stone.
He's a Rosetta Stone away from being world champ.
Alcohol's going on.
There we go. It's not alcohol. That's water and alcohol.
Fire water.
So, guys, I'm with my man Steve from PTBN Nation. Rich Fan from the Deep Dive and the Pro Wrestling Torch East Coast Cast. My man Shahid, StuntGranny.com, covering wrestling, TV, movies, YouTube vids, whatever ads pop up on your Hulu.
And making fun of nerds.
And making fun of nerds. I'm your man Cameron from South Congress Podcast, Pro Wrestling Torch, East Coast Cast, Wade Keller Pro Wrestling Podcast. Whenever he feels he needs that little bit of diversity to switch things up, I want to wish everybody a fantastic 2017. I hope your year was as good to you as it was to all of us. Again, it's your man Cameron, for all the homies, signing off. We're gonna keep the stream going for a minute because I think we're gonna see funny stuff. But that's gonna do it for us on the audio end. Cameron, Best of WWE 2017 show. Signing off. You guys keep talking because I'm going to the bathroom and then I'm gonna come back so we can get these jokes off. If you got time, Stephen Rich.
I think I got time.
Okay.
Yes.
Shahid says he has like 6 minutes, so I'm gonna say some funny shit. Give me a minute.
Did y'all watch NXT yesterday?
No, we went to Wahlburgers and just ran out of
So
time.
y'all didn't see that lesbian bully Shayna Baszler choke out Kyrie Sane like a
Well,
coward?
I had seen the tape and results, so I knew sooner or later my Queen of Spades would show up and regulate.
That was like a damn shower movie. Like Kyrie came out, she challenged Ember Moon, she blew out the Periscope. Like I see you about to get a title shot. Then Shayna Baszler came out of nowhere and just choked her ass out. Ugh, horrible. Like I said, Shayna Baszler, like she just like Baron Corbin's evil sister.
Now she looks like fucking not Peppermint Patty. What's the other girl? Lucy. Pretty much. Very square jawed gal.
Yes. Edge and Christian's favorite NXT wrestler, apparently. So
Man, what do you guys think about Rousey maybe showing up in the Girls' Rumble?
I can.
Well, she's filming a movie, so it's gonna be weird. I'm hoping she shows up, but that means at this point my Rumble nerd has to take over and get mad that Oscar's gonna lose.
She ain't taking Eva Marie's spot. What y'all talking about?
See,
No,
they got. Oh, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Rousey popped up. That'd be a good spot for her. Because I'm thinking like if you don't have Asuka win, you might as well have somebody like special to win.
Yeah, I've been laying low for the Wrestling Talk Online ever since that bullshit with the Young Bucks and fucking Biggs got me all.
You brought that on yourself.
God damn it.
You have too many white friends.
You wouldn't see Demolition do
Have
that.
we established that? You have too many white friends. Because white people follow you and then they retweet stuff. And then, like, they're fucking messy. And you did it to yourself, is what we're going to say. Like,
I don't
yo,
know how to say
think
this,
about...
but spoiler alert, I'm white as shit.
Well, Steve, listen, though. I've been slandering the Young Bucks for, like, 4 years. And not slander. I was just like, yo, you should do more push-ups if you're going to pretend to beat people up. Nobody ever got mad at me.
Yeah. You wasn't famous yet. You
True.
wasn't famous with the white
Tag
community.
these motherfuckers. They found me, and then
Because Vix did it, and Waco's talking crap about
They was
Wake
eating-
and that leads to people finding out.
They was eating a bowl of strawberries on Twitter, searching their name, and it's found you talking about their work rate. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna show him what's
Imagine
real.
not being able to bench press 220 and having a bad hairline.
120.
You block people, too.
Once.
You'd be mad.
most of the slander was like, all right, these nerds are gonna nerd, whatever. And one guy fucking said, well, if you weren't being a fucking dickhead on Twitter, like, man, I will chain silent bob your ass.
That's the shit that kills me, man. Like, I don't understand it. Like, no, let me tell you what happened. So, you know how, like, I do the Photoshop shit, and I'll post the Photoshop, like, I'll post my Photoshops on Reddit, right? So they'll be up on Reddit, and, like, people will be like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I like it. Yo, this is dope. I posted the artwork for this show. What's the first thing you see on this artwork for this show? You see PW Torch. Yo, people were not feeling it immediately. That shit has no likes. No, I mean, it is what I get, but it's kind of like, yo, like, I can't get mad because I understand, like, here's my problem, being light-skinned, right? I will sit on Squared Circle Reddit, and I'll search Wade Keller. And it's the worst thing you can ever do, yo. Because everybody wants whatever they're not getting. So they hate Keller, and they hate Meltzer. They don't like Travis. And, like, I'm like, yo, don't like Travis for reasons I don't like Travis. Because I hate his text messages. Don't not like him because of the content. Like, it's crazy. And so I put that on there, and motherfuckers was like, it was like I had never given them anything of joy. It's like I never made the Shinsuke cage match poster that they fucking love. Okay. It's fucking crazy.
What I tell you about talking to strangers? Man.
You did tell me about talking to strangers.
All that, like,
but the crazy thing is when they see you in person, it's love. But on Twitter, on fucking Reddit, everybody's a fucking tough guy.
What I tell you about
I can't admit that I like what you do. It's the craziest thing. Like I thought.
Why do you think I don't talk to strangers on Twitter? Because I'm like, somebody gonna say the wrong side thing.
I got so many jokes, and we're on stream, so I feel like I can't say them. Yeah, you're killing me right now.
I'm like, I be telling you, like, now when I talk to people I know. Mm-hmm. Some stranger, but I'm like, I'm not talking. I actually told people I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to my friend. You need to mind your business, and I stopped there because the next tweet will be because otherwise you'll get punched in the face.
Yeah. But no, that's the thing though. Like Rich, we've talked about this, and Steve, you've seen us talk about it. Like, it's different being black in this space because, like, really, as much as I get mad about Travis on the professional side, Travis is a pioneer to this shit. Like,
absolutely,
he really stepped out there and was like, "Yo, like, I think we can do this, and we can reach a demographic that hasn't been reached." He's special for that, and so like, but my thing is like, you're just not gonna talk crazy to me. Like, Steve and Rich, you would never hear. He was only here one time, but like Travis and Dre have came down and have gone to a bar with me, and somebody talked crazy, and they were like, "Cam, like you have to chill out." I'm like, no, I don't. I absolutely don't. I can be crazy because again, they're all 6 feet tall, and I'm a strong 5'9" in my Timberlands. Like, no, I have to be the crazy person. Because if not, somebody's going to fucking try me. I got to be crazy. I'm the same way on Twitter.
Is that why you almost got us into a fight at Cowboy Stadium?
No, I almost got you into a fight. Because them motherfuckers was being bold. No, you know whose fault it really is, Steve? And Shahid will attest. It's the guys in New York's fault that almost got into a fight in Dallas. Because those dudes behind us were talking about spoiler chants, and I didn't think I could whoop them. So I sat back on it. But then the next year, I was like, no, I can get them dudes. Or 2 years later, because I had done enough push-ups. So I was like, no, I can get them motherfuckers. It's not even a game. And so, no, but they were, Steve, you saw that bullshit they were on. I wasn't with that.
They were, but man, I got Shahid to my left and then like a 10-year-old child to his left. And out of nowhere, I hear you just fucking buck up. Like, hey, you.
Yeah, I'm mad because like if he fight, we all gotta fight.
That is fucked up.
Me and Steve, we can't work. We got felonies. That's why I'm mad at you.
That's true.
If I wasn't a medical professional, we could square up right now.
You know what's cool about it though? We go to New Orleans, so it's not going to be no beef. It's all love in New Orleans.
So the anthem plays.
Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that
There's
up.
There's like one person watching still, because they're like, y'all talking wrestling.
No, it's going to be cool till they talking about stand for the national anthem.
And I sit down strong. And Faye sit down strong. They're
going to see Faye, and they're going to think something.
Drew Brees going to pop up.
And they like, what, you don't love America? And then they're going to see Faye, oh, so that's why you don't love America?
Here, I got it. They're going to be like, love these nuts, and then it's beef with everybody. But no.
I'm just going to be mad at Dallas because I would have had to go into that fucking Dallas PD booking precinct looking like Kobe Kingston.
You would have had a lot of questions to answer. So, you really like Adidas, huh, sir?
I'm like, hey, I just came back
and
from
I was more,
I got fucking bronze.
Yeah, the Dallas thing was kind of like, I mean, push come to shove.
I didn't steal a football, so I can't be too mad. Like, I actually committed not a felony, but a strong misdemeanor.
And you were putting young women in a damn torture rack and taking pictures.
She liked it, though. She liked it, though. What woman doesn't like to be picked up by a handsome... Anyway.
That's why we got a Me Too thing going on. You ever thought about that?
Jesus Christ. Okay, guys. I do appreciate you tonight. I hope I ran this in a kind of responsible way. Steve, because we're still on stream and people can hear you. Anything else you want to say before we get off air?
No, man. The only thing we didn't really touch on with the show was that Brock Lesnar, I think, has got the fucking, like, he's found his sweet spot as far as 6-minute all-out bombs.
Yes.
That's his wheelhouse. That's what he needs to do, and he's great at it. He doesn't need to be doing 25-minute epic main events. Let that man get in, destroy Tokyo, get the fuck out, move on to the next Godzilla movie, and he's straight.
My man.
I'll say that.
Shout
Shout out to
anybody out
him.
there who's interested in following me. I'm at SteveDubbRN on Twitter. Check out PlaceToBeNation.com for all the fucking wrestling and pop culture content. Those guys are producing shit nonstop.
There we go. Rich, anything you want to talk about before we go?
No, I think I'm straight. I'm going to be doing the deep dive this Saturday with my buddy Chris. It's actually both ends of the next 2 weeks are going to be Wrestle Kingdom related. So we're going to preview Wrestle Kingdom, and then we're going to have a Torch Observer crossover where I have Mike Sempervive review Wrestle Kingdom next Saturday.
Rich, I feel like I have to call in Saturday to promo this, so be ready for that. But yes, we'll make that happen. Shahid, before you get out of here, anything else you want to drop?
First, I want to give a shout out to AJ Styles. He is so respected that Brock Lesnar's like, you know what? I'm going to work longer than 5 minutes. I'm going to have a real match that y'all fat-ass nerds been complaining about I haven't had since SmackDown 01.
It was Sagat Ryu. It really
Yeah.
was.
And other than that, you can catch me on Stunt Granny, on the regular wrestling show, when I sub in, on We Watch Stuff, and we talk about stuff. And if you're a fat nerd that hate people for being successful, then don't follow me. I'm only down for excellence. If you can't embrace excellence and the responsibility that comes with excellence, then go follow somebody else. Go be fat and miserable and hate watch with yourselves.
Guys, 2017 has been really interesting for me. I feel like professionally it's been great for me. Here in the artistic realm, I feel like I've done more than I've ever done. I want to salute Rich for just watching him do his own show, watching him be so professional about it, having different guests. That's been a real inspiration to me. I want to say R.I.P. to Combat Jack, my biggest influence as far as podcasting goes. He had a party last year during South by Southwest that he hosted, and I was really hoping I got to meet him and just tell him how much I appreciated what he did, because he inspired me to do a podcast. He influences my whole guest style, how I introduce people and talk to people on my show. I just owe so much to him. R.I.P. Combat Jack. I thank everybody for jumping on the YouTube line, all the emails, all the Twitters, all the Facebooks. Thank you for letting me come from years ago, a guest on a podcast, to having my own that you guys appreciate. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. 2018 is only going to be more with South Congress, with Fan by Fan, with the East Coast cast, with You, Me, and Wrestling. I'm Cameron, wishing everybody, I hope you had a great 2017. I hope that we together have a great 2018. For Shahid, Rich and Steve, and Travis, who is still on his second shift. We're out.
You said that like you had cancer or something.
I ain't had no damn cancer.
Long ass testimonial.
I'm just saying.
I got a new job.
Rich and Steve, I know you're still there, and the stream is actually still here. Guys,
All right.
you can
I'm gonna
actually...
wrap up before I incriminate myself then.
Wait, best of 2017. Yo, it's fucked up. Faye said she was coming back at like 3:30 to cook, and Shahid put on his Dean Ambrose jacket and was like, fuck this.
Shit,
I'm out.
you supposed to have been done by now. What you had, an orgy
That's
or
just gonna
something?
be crazy.
Yeah,
Later.
She's like, oh, I just got back. I was going to cook.
yeah, I'm getting texts like, you supposed to been home by now. What you have, an
I hate-
orgy over there?
I hate Darrell so much.
What do you say now?
He said, thank you for letting me know how little I knew about life in the suburbs. God damn it. God damn it.
One day
Must
he'll
be
make
nice
it.
to not have to worry about getting Jack for your pizza.
Later, Facebook. Hey, shout out Drake.
Somebody,
Wow.
Somebody else who got their spot.
Hey,
taken.
Dre said shout out to Shahid for fat shaming when he's 20 pounds from obesity. You don't have to take that.
Oh, I'm out.
And what? And where? What? China?
You don't have to take
Because
that.
it ain't. It's not America.